champion Hamilton Tiger Cats. Very dramatic here at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Now let's head to the West Final and Edmonton.
Thanks very much, Scott. Welcome to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, where the BC Lions and the Eskimos are set to kick off their 10th playoff confrontation in this Western semifinal. The Lions have won here in Edmonton only twice in those last 9 games, and each time they went to the Grey Cup. Here today, a battle of 2 old teammates from the University of Idaho. Don Matthews, the winningest coach in CFL history, against Steve Barato of the Lions. They won a Grey Cup together in Baltimore in 1995 when Barato was the offensive coordinator for head coach Don Matthews. And today, for the first time, they will face each other in a playoff game as head coaches. The Eskimos won the toss. They've deferred. They will kick off. And the Lions will return. It's the Jet, Jimmy Cunningham, across his 20, up the middle, hits a seam, and that hits a wall of tacklers. Terry Ray makes the tackle for the Eskimos. As Damon Allen comes out to lead this BC Lion offense, which is leading the CFL in all kinds of offensive categories.
Well, absolutely. Number 1, rushing the football, almost 139 yards per game. That's the 3D backfield that gets it done along the ground. Millington in the middle, Damon Allen to the outside. Alfred Jackson over 500 yards in the last 5 games for Jackson to end the regular season, and that's the offensive line anchored by Jamie Terrace.
So the old veteran at quarterback, play action. Allen rolling outside of containment. He'll run. Lots of room, and he skips out of bounds near the first down marker for a gain of 9 at his own 40-yard line.
Players back for the Edmonton defense. And you look at Terry Ray, he's the key up front. They get Steve Anderson. Just 10 days ago, he had knee surgery in the lineup for this playoff game. And then we talked about the linebacking core. Terry Ray returns to the lineup. He missed last week. 2nd in the league in tackles.
Big Ralph Staten back in the lineup. He held Allen Pitts to 7 catches in 4 games against Calgary. 2nd and less than a yard, and up the gut they go. It's Millington, the diesel, for the first down. Millington having his best ever season. 1,010 yards. First time over the 1,000-yard milestone. Glenn, a 6.5-yard rushing average. Impressive when you consider he had less than half the number of carries as Mike Pringle this year.
Well, yeah, and when you talk to Sean Millington about it, he simply kind of shrugs his shoulders and says, yeah, if you give me the ball 150 times, I'm going to get 1,000 yards.
First time a Canadian has gone over 1,000 yards on the ground since Orville Lee in '88. Play action. Allen going deep down the far sidelines in the sun. It's complete. Graham has it for the Lions on a huge bomb.
What a catch, and I love the call by Joe Paopao and Damon Allen to go deep this early in the football game, because it's trying to set the tempo and set the tone. And what he's saying is, we're going to send you right down the seam, we're going to throw it up, and we're just going to see if you're going to cover our guys deep. And it stretches out that defense early. A nice throw deep to Sean Graham in the seam, fairly well covered down there by Shannon Garrett. And Graham comes up with a really nice catch to get the Lions some momentum early.
6-year veteran out of UBC with a 46-yard gain, the longest of the season for him. It's Drummond around the outside with a head of steam, and he hits a host of Eskimo tacklers, but not until he gets about 11 yards on the carry. And now the Lions are threatening inside the 15 to about the 10-yard line of Edmonton.
You know that the Edmonton linebackers and Terry Ray, Mobley, and Grant Carter all week have been concerned about the interior running game from Millington and Robert Drummond. Well, Damon Allen comes out to start this game, airing it out with the deep ball just to say, hey, we can still throw the football.
You bet. 1st and 10 just outside the Edmonton 10 for the Lions. Allen will stay on the ground. Drummond outside the tackle again, puts his shoulder down and driven out of bounds by Terry Ray at about the 5-yard line. This 2-headed running back tandem of Drummond and Millington, the best in the CFL.
Yeah, and then you can add a 3rd head in Damon Allen, because he can still get it done when he has to along the ground. He'll pick his times, but Drummond, although they're both big backs, likes to take it outside, and Millington would rather take it inside into the middle, and that's why they complement each other so well.
Drummond and Millington combining for more than 1,800 yards on the ground this year. The best running output from the backfield of any team in the CFL.
key play early for the defense for Edmonton right here.
Play action, shovel pass. It's complete to Millington. He puts his head down, touchdown. BC Lions on their opening drive of this semifinal.
Mentioned the importance of the play. Yes, it's early, but that big bomb by Damon Allen gives the Lions so much momentum. Drummond ends up catching.
Drummond, yes.
That's right, on that shovel pass, and he had to make a nice catch to do it. He comes underneath the play, but he has to stop his momentum and come back, and on this field, that's not easy. So far, the footing has not been an issue. But the Lions, by scoring, keep that momentum they gained from the Sean Graham catch.
So Robert Drummond with his 12th touchdown of the season, and the Lions light it up on their first drive of this game. Basaglia, the point after attempt is good. And early, it's 7-0. The BC Lions dictating the terms on offense to start this Western semifinal as Allen works the play action to perfection. Ray along with Mobley back to receive. It is Singor Mobley at his 21. Trying to get outside, he does. Breaks one tackle, still on his feet, comes back up the middle, and finally driven down across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. Let's go to the sidelines, and here's Steve.
Thank you, Mark. The big question mark here at Commonwealth Stadium was the turf. It is hard, it is frozen, and about 40 minutes before kickoff, David Benefield, the big defensive end for the BC Lions, came up to check the turf. Neil Payne and his CFL officiating crew came over and said, David, those cleats are too long. You either change them or you do not play. It's as simple as that.
Well, the rules say they can't be more than 3/4 of an inch long, and his look to be at least an inch long. Up the gut, it's Mills breaking some tackles for the Eskimos.
And this is the offense led by Nealon Green for the Edmonton Eskimos. No question, Nealon Green is the key. He'll run it to the outside, and they'll give it to Mills up the middle. Some question as to whether or not Mark Norris should get some playing time in this game. That's the receiving corps.
Terry Vaughn, his favorite receiver, 6th straight year, over 1,000 yards receiving. The big offensive line led by Groenwagen in his 253rd consecutive game. They've been a stalwart item all season long. In the shotgun, Green will pass. It's complete on the far side. The tackle immediately as McCorvey makes his first catch of this game.
Well, we talked about the footing, and Kes McCorvey is a genuine route runner. I mean, this is a guy who cuts on a dime. Nealon Green in the warm-up said to Kes McCorvey, what shoes you're going to wear? Because whatever you wear, with the way that you cut on this field, I'm wearing what you're wearing.
And he was wearing the spot-built shoe. Nealon had one of each on his feet trying it out, and footwear could be paramount in this football game because it's been sunny all day, and the top part of this natural grass surface has been thawing. Fletcher awaiting this punt from Sean Fleming, playing with a bad foot, and that might be a bad indication of how well he'll do today. The ball rolling and out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, but Sean Fleming broke some blood vessels on the bridge of his kicking foot 1 week ago. He's been kicking all week, but he says he's in pain every time he contacts the ball.
Yeah, twisted his ankle in the last game of the regular season, broke those blood vessels, and he has practiced. But there's a lot of pain, and that one was just off the side of his foot. And he favored it in warm-up, although he was kicking from field goals at about 48 and punting the ball around 50 yards. He would show some sign of that pain after the kicks. He'd limp on it. And you know what? More than anything, physically, it's a pain problem. But it also, with the kicker, works on him psychologically.
27 yards was the length of his last punt. On the ground, the Lions stay bulldozing their way for a gain of about 4 or 5 yards. And at the bottom of that heap, the big man, Sean Millington, or rather Robert Drummond again.
Well, it's interesting with the Lions with the momentum early in this game. If they can continue to move the football, come up with more points on this series, it takes Edmonton offensively out of their game plan, which was to run the ball to Troy Mills and with Nealon Green. That will make Nealon Green a passer.
Doug Peterson did not play last week. He's battling an abdominal strain on that defensive line. Allen under pressure, tries to get it away to Jimmy Cunningham. It's incomplete. Shannon Garrett on the coverage for the Eskimos.
Play that the Lions have used all season long, trying to get Cunningham on a crossing pattern, and if they can just dump him the ball for a couple yards and let him do the rest. But Damon Allen had too much pressure on him to be able to set up and deliver a pass.
Terry Vaughn will be the lone Eskimo back to return this punt. The Gizmo, of course, not dressed today after injuring his hip flexor 2 weeks ago right here against Saskatchewan. Louis Pasaglia, 46-year-old in his 25th and final season in the CFL. Back to punt for the Lions. Pasaglia's spiral, driving deep to Vaughn. He'll get it inside his 25-yard line. Vaughn breaks a tackle. He's got some speed. Then hit hard by Simon Buffo. Rocked. A 44-yard punt from Pasaglia and an 18-yard return. Oh, that was contact on a glorious day for football here in Edmonton. Vaughn gives the Eskimos good field position when they come back. Back at Commonwealth, Simon Buffo of the Lions appears to be favoring his right shoulder after a horrific hit.
Well, he might have got a bit of a stinger, but it's a little playoff intensity for you right there on a special team. Terry Vaughn and Simon Buffo going head-to-head. A great collision to try and set the tone on special teams for the BC Lions.
Buffo leading his calling card there with Terry Vaughn as the Eskimos go back on offense at the 42. Green with time in the pocket, searching for a receiver. He'll scramble to the wide side. It's complete to Nigel Williams at the 50. He breaks a tackle against McClellan and gets to center field. The gain is 13 and a first down for the Eskimos.
Well, the BC Lions get a couple of key defenders back in the lineup, and that's Herman Smith and David Benefield.
Benefield, of course, favoring his Achilles tendon, said to us before the game, it's still not right.
It'll be up to them to try and contain Nealon Green. Damon Cogdell gets his third start, and there's your secondary. Chuck Levy on the corner will be tested this afternoon.
Only the second time that Levy has played the corner. Normally a running back. Mills right up the middle, stumbling, puts his hand down, keeps his balance, and it looks like he'll have another Eskimo first down. Gain of about 11 on the play. Troy Mills getting the start in this football game after missing 12 games this year for various reasons, from injuries to illness in his family.
That's right, and he only played 6 games, and they were sort of spread out throughout the season. He did play last week. Now, he had trouble handling the football earlier in that game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to end the regular season, but he is the feature back in Don Matthews' offense, and they'll go with him this afternoon.
It is a first down, yes, and when you consider Mark Nora is stressed and waiting on the sidelines, he had his biggest game of the year against this team, 170 yards.
And is a power back, and when the weather starts to cool down, you tend to go more to those power backs, although Don Matthews, it's Troy Mills.
Mills with a bit of the turf in his face mask after being face planted on that 11-yard carry. First down, Edmonton. Inside the BC 45. Green in the shotgun. Time steps up down the middle. It's complete to Kes McCorvey. Another first down still going. And McCorvey forced out of bounds at the 19 of the Lions.
That's exactly where the passing game from Nealon Green comes in. A pretty nice throw because he had isolated Damon Cogdell, the middle linebacker, in his zone defense. Cogdell was the guy that was going to drop underneath Kes McCorvey. Nealon Green showed some patience, although he took the hit. You see Cogdell, number 12, he's up and out of position, and McCorvey gets in behind him. Gets a little bit of a block from Nigel Williams down the field.
Cogdell in only his third CFL game. He's the 5th middle linebacker the Lions have experimented with this season on defense. And it looks like Central McClellan is down. He took a big hit from Nigel Williams. Helped spring McCorvey on that last play.
Well, that was right. That was the extra yardage from Kes McCorvey. Nigel Williams came back and put the block on Central McClellan.
Now, if McClellan goes out here, the man waiting in the wings is Kelly Snell. out of Ferris State. He's never played in a CFL game before.
Here's how the injury occurred. You see McCorvey up at the top. There's 34, the top right of your screen, and look at the comeback hit from Nigel Williams. Central McClellan did not see that train coming. Down he goes.
So Nigel Williams with a big catch and a huge block on offense for the Eskimos, and they keep moving. Snell is in the game.
He has to come up for at least 3 plays.
18 for BC. Snell in his first CFL game. Handoff. Mills hits a wall and is shoestring by Benefield for little or no gain.
I'm really surprised, Mark, that Nealon Green didn't go right after the changes in the secondary. There's Kelly Snell. He's a newcomer. Now, what they have had to do is make 2 changes. They put the newcomer on the corner in Snell, and then they have to move Chuck Levy into the halfback position to the wide side of the field. With 2 changes and 2 very young defensive backs in there, surprised that Nealon Green's not trying to go after it.
2nd and 10. Green in the shotgun. Lots of time. He'll throw. It's complete to Williams, but he's tackled shy of the first down. It's Crum making contact for the Lions.
Well, when you got some changes in the secondary, you look for some leadership, and Mike Crum, throughout the last 3-4 weeks of the regular season, has really stepped it up in that position. He comes from a long way to make a key tackle to hold the Edmonton Eskimos to a field goal attempt, because you look across the board in that secondary, there were some problems.
Gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 5 in a field goal situation for Sean Fleming as he spots the ball at about the 21. A chip shot for him, but again, he is kicking with an injured right foot. He had problems with a 27-yard punt in his first punt of the game. Let's see how he does here. Crowley to tee it up. It's down, kicked, and good. And so Fleming with lots of leg and a 21-yard field goal for the Eskimos as they hit the scoreboard for the first time here in the opening quarter. The Lions, though, with the lead 7-3 as the foot holds up for the veteran. Lions head coach Steve Barato on the bench. He signed a 2-year contract extension this week, and he has really been in the right place at the right time. Back in August, he came to this team as a consultant, moved to an offensive coach, then head coach in the space of 1 month. Here he was before the game with his quarterback, Damon Allen, worried about the sun and the angles. Here's Allen with the sun at his back. It's complete to Don Blair. He'll have a first down. But Damon Allen was saying before this game that Barato has mellowed as a head coach, and that style really suits him.
Well, when he, in 1984, took the head coaching job in Calgary, he had a completely different temperament about him. He'd walk up and down the sideline and get pretty excited when mistakes happened on the field. It's no longer the way he approaches the game. 5 years away from the game, he's settled down a little bit, he's more relaxed, and Damon Allen loves his temperament at this point.
First down, Lions at their own 50. Allen up under his center. He'll hand off. It's the Diesel. Millington putting his head down, and he gets up to center field for a gain of about 5 yards on the play.
Terry Ray said yesterday, the linebacker for the Edmonton Eskimos, that it's very important in the first half of this game to send a message to Sean Millington. And the message is, you can't run over us here in the middle of this defense. And it was very important to him, and all this that they really talked about all week long. Him and Singor Mobley aren't real big linebackers. They need to set the tempo early.
The gain is just under 6 yards. Allen will draw across the first down marker and inside the 50, and there's a late flag on the play.
Well, it looked like it was Grant Carter. And the question is, was Damon Allen sliding feet first? Because if you're sliding feet first, you simply cannot hit him.
Major foul. Edmonton, number 47. First down.
Ken Lazarick charging Grant Carter, the middle linebacker.
Well, you know, in fairness to Grant Carter, it didn't look like Damon Allen deliberately slid feet first. It looked like he was kind of pulled down. So Grant Carter continued on with the tackle. Because if the quarterback slides feet first, you got to avoid the hit. You got to avoid all contact. But if you're Grant Carter, that really didn't look like he was deliberately sliding feet first.
No, he coddled the quarterback more than hitting him there, but it's a first down at the 34 of the Eskimos. Play action now. Allen will throw out of the backfield. Sean Graham has it. Is hit hard, gets across the 25 after Garrett makes contact. The gain is about 9 yards on the play.
Interesting move by Don Matthews in his secondary with Shannon Garrett, who just made the tackle on that crossing pattern from Sean Graham. What he's done is he's moved Shannon Garrett into the halfback position. Torrey Hunter moves out to the corner. First half of the season, Hunter was the halfback, and Garrett, when he came to Edmonton, was playing the corner. See how they hold up in different positions in this big game.
At one point during this season, only the linebackers were left standing. The middle, huge contact. On the second and short yardage play, Reese making the tackle.
Albert Reese, he must have had the playbook. He was in the backfield before Damon Allen really turned around. He came off the edge to the left of your screen. A little bit of slip there. We talked about the field earlier from Robert Drummond, but Reese was back there anyway, slip or not.
First down, Lions marching again. Millington, motion right. Rolling right is Allen. There's pressure. He'll throw it back. Open is Drummond at the 5. He's got it! Touchdown! Lions! Robert Drummond with his second touchdown of the game on a 22-yard pass and run from Damon Allen.
Unbelievable play from Damon Allen, the veteran. Because the blitz was coming from Terry Ray right up the middle of the Edmonton defense. In fact, you could probably hear him saying, "You go weak, I'll go strong." Well, Terry Ray went strong and was clean. Look at him in the middle. But Damon Allen buys some time, put some air under it, and Robert Drummond just run under the football.
We talked about Allen becoming more of a passer in his golden years. That one was thrown off his back foot with tremendous accuracy.
Well, he makes it look easy, but I guarantee you that was a very difficult throw to make. Number one, how did he even see Robert Drummond get out there? And just to put that much air on it and that much touch on a pass with Terry Ray in your face, wow.
Damon Allen, of course, the last quarterback to lead the Eskimos to Grey Cup victories in '87 and '93, says he feels at home here at Commonwealth. Another look at that perfect touch pass to Drummond.
Well, a little sidearm flick of the wrist going backwards from Damon Allen, and Drummond caught it in stride.
And he had more catches than anybody else on this Lions team this season, just ahead of Alfred Jackson. A threat out of the backfield as a receiver and on the ground. Robert Drummond with his second TD of the game. This scoring drive, 6 plays, 75 yards, almost identical. 3:16 to the first drive of the game that went for a touchdown.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing offensively when you're talking about the BC Lions. They're mixing things up. They throw the crossing pattern to Sean Graham. They go deep in the first series, and then they're still running the ball with both Drummond and with Sean Millington. And that puts you in a bind if you're a linebacker like Terry Ray, because you're not sure if they're going to run the ball. They're not giving you a steady diet of anything.
Terry Ray on the bench, smarting over that blitz that didn't work. To return this kick, it's Terry Vaughn at his own 18. Vaughn negotiating, makes a move, still on his feet. Vaughn running hard, across the 40, still going, puts his hand down, finally hauled down at the 50. Tremendous second effort from Terry Vaughn.
That is the type of play, Mark, that will get your team fired up. Forget about the yardage he gained. That type of second and third effort, if that doesn't lift the entire team, nothing will, because this is just all Terry Vaughn. Should have been tackled right there. Broke that tackle, got to the outside. Would not give up, got his hand down to keep his balance.
Hervey has the pass from Nealon Green, driven out of bounds at the BC 50-yard line, just across the first down marker. Chuck Levy making contact in the secondary for BC.
One of the things that Edmonton are trying to do right now is to move their receivers, except for Ed Hervey, to the far side of the field and see if they can't get a one-on-one matchup on Chuck Levy.
What they're noticing is that Levy is to the boundary on the short side of the field. They weren't expecting that. They thought they'd hide him on the wide side. In the shotgun, pressure now. Green looking to run. He won't get anywhere. Herman Smith making the tackle after missing his flight yesterday, was in the doghouse for a while with Steve Barata, who said he won't be playing for much money today, I'll tell you.
Well, he missed last week due to injury. He comes back, he misses the plane to Edmonton yesterday, and that's right, Steve Barata says he's playing the playoff game for free. Showed some intensity, though. Even though he's not getting paid, he's getting after it.
Both Smith and Benefield with their hands full here today at the end position to corral this scrambling quarterback in Green. 2nd down and 11. Green scrambling in trouble. Back at his own 45. Has time. 5 steamboats. 6. Still going. Breaks. 3 again. Will throw. Has a man open. Oh, Terry Vaughn had it drop in front of him at the 40.
Well, what you just saw from Nealon Green is an absolute nightmare for a defensive back. Because you're not talking about seconds that you have to cover now. You're talking about hours. At least it feels like hours. Green bought all kinds of time with his legs, and he finally found Terry Vaughn, who was open. But because he had to throw against his body with David Benefield in his face, he didn't quite get the ball there. But for a defensive back, that is a nightmare.
And Green showing so much more discipline now as a young quarterback coming into this game in 144 attempts, not one interception thrown. Wobbly punt from Sean Fleming. Mike Fletcher has the ball. He's rocked at his own 20. A 36-yard punt from Sean Fleming and only a 4-yard return. And the Lions will scrimmage from their own 20.
Closed captioning of this program is brought to you by Tim Hortons, where lunch is a home-style soup and sandwich combo. Come home for lunch at Tim Hortons.
Damon Allen with a point to prove here today. He hasn't won a playoff game since the 1993 Grey Cup when he won that in Calgary. His numbers today,
Not bad.
Beautiful.
Not bad. 5 of 6, 2 touchdowns.
Ray looking into the Lion backfield. All the motion is wide side. They'll come to the short side. It's Drummond across the 25, close to the 26. The gain will be about 5 yards.
Well, one of the all-stars for the BC Lions up front on that big old line is Chris Perez. And watch 62 get the good kick-out block right there on Albert Reese. That gives Robert Drummond a little bit of a crease to pick up a few yards anyway. Chris Perez, a Western all-star for the BC Lions.
7 seconds and ticking here towards the end of the first quarter. This will be the last play. The Lions with a prolific opening quarter. 2 touchdowns, both by Drummond. Here's Allen. He slips on the turf, throws across the middle. It's incomplete. Jimmy Oliver was the intended receiver. He had it momentarily and then couldn't bring it down with close coverage from Dwight Henry. The gun sounds to end the opening quarter of this Western semifinal, and the Lions holding a big lead, 14-3 over the hometown Eskimos. And this BC team battling through a rough season with a chance to win here in the playoffs. Back in Edmonton, and the Eskimos' prized receiver Terry Vaughn has just received some attention to his shoulder on the bench. He'll remain there in this punting situation for the Lions. Kes McCorvey is the lone man back right now on this punt return for Edmonton.
They are thin in the return department because Gizmo Williams out of the lineup. We'll go with Kes McCorvey. When you look at those numbers after the first quarter, look at the time of possession at the bottom. BC Lions head coach Steve Barata said in the press conference yesterday, the best way to defend Nealon Green, keep him on the sidelines. And their offense did that by winning the time of possession battle in the first quarter.
Louis Pasaglia with a 38.8-yard punting average. Stands at his own 11-yard line. As the shadows grow longer here this afternoon.
They may be coming up front for Edmonton with a backup return man.
They look hungry. Pasaglia gets a low punt away. McCorvey has it on the run. That is 51. McCorvey across center field, dodging great cuts. He's open! Open field for McCorvey. Finally hauled down at the 20. A touchdown saving tackle by Chuck Levy on a 40-yard return. But flags are down.
It's right in that area of the illegal block, right around where Kes McCorvey caught the football.
Legal block, Edmonton, number 80.
Whoa.
First down.
That one hurts. Rob Harrod gets the illegal block to the right of your screen, number 80. A little bit of a clip, really incidental in the play because McCorvey had already run past it.
Yes, it was behind the play, the rookie out of Ottawa.
Right there. Well, actually, Mike Crum might have had a chance had he not got the push in the back.
The net loss is 36 yards in that terrific return. Play action. Green with all kinds of time. He'll pass to Vaughn at center field. He beats Cobdell, the linebacker, and gains 7 more yards on the play.
Well, it's interesting to see what the BC Lions do to defend the great running ability of Nealon Green. And right now what they're trying to do is just rush with 4, and it's a controlled rush from that defensive line and play zone behind it. Now the reason you do that on defense is so that every one of your defenders are looking at the quarterback so they can all help on the run. But what it does for Nealon Green is it gives him tons of time in the pocket to look at 1, 2, and the 3rd receiver in the passing game.
The gain was 11 by Vaughn. First down, handoff Troy Mills. Nothing doing there as he gets back to the line of scrimmage in the ends. Benefield and Smith put the grab on him.
But did you see what David Benefield did there? He really pinched down to go to Troy Mills. Now look to Nealon Green to fake that ball to Mills and then take it to the outside. A series of plays that they've run all season long to simplify things for Nealon Green. See, in this play, they're going to go right there to Mills. See, up the middle. But see Green take it to the outside. Benefield pinch. They may try and make him pay for that later in this game.
5 receivers set for the Eskimos. Walters in the game, and the pass is to him, and it hits him right in the numbers, and he can't hold on. Right at the first down marker, and so it's a punt situation for the Eskimos.
Very uncharacteristic for Ricky Walters, and you consider the type of season that he has had. And there's a lot of people in the media here in Edmonton that believe that Ricky Walters should have been the nominee for Outstanding Canadian from this team, and that's obviously not taking anything away from Mark Nora, who was. But he's had a tremendous year.
Sean Fleming from his own from the center field stripe, a high spiraling punt. Fletcher has it just inside the goal line, and he's hemmed in. Tremendous punt cover. A 47-yard boot by Fleming, and just a 6-yard return from Fletcher. Tough field position for Damon. Mike Fletcher in his first playoff game making a rookie mistake on that punt return.
We always wonder how the young guys are going to react. Look at him. He's about 4 or 5 inches in the end zone. Field position at this point in the game is way more important than that single point that Mike Fletcher did not give up. He should have really put down a knee, given up the single, and got the field position back.
Yes, they're in the shadows of their goalpost. The Lions first down at the 6. It's Drummond up the middle, and he's got room up the gut through the heart of the Eskimo defense as he rumbles across the 15-yard line.
Well, if they can run out of here, you got to give credit to that offense, but a little bit of a mistake from Mike Fletcher. And Doug Peterson right up front is the guy, the key in the middle, and he gets double teamed by Jamie Terrace and Craig Hendrickson, and you really have to double team a player like Doug Peterson if you want to run the ball successfully.
It is a first down on the ground for the Lions. Doug Peterson was telling me that the abdominal strain makes it awfully hard for him to combat linemen up high. He has to stay low.
And what's amazing about Doug Peterson is that he can't take or doesn't want to take painkillers for this game. He's playing at about 85%. The pain is unbelievable, and he doesn't want to take painkillers.
Damon Allen trying to dig the Lions out of their own zone. They'll stay on the ground again. Drummond with the ball. Off tackle left side for a couple, maybe 3.
But, you know, the Drummond play previous to that one was key. Doug Peterson gets involved on that play. He's going to slide to the protection and beat the block from Craig Hendrickson to get in there. And now it's 1-1. Drummond got him the first time. Henderson got him the first time. Now Peterson says, well, if you're going to block me with just one guy, I'm going to make the play. You better bring 2.
Second and long. Jimmy Cunningham in at receiver. Millington out. 5 receivers set. Nobody back except Damon Allen. He'll throw. Cunningham open, but the ball overthrown from Damon Allen. Chris Hardy, the safety, stride for stride with the Jet.
Well, Grant Carter, no surprise that Edmonton going to go with the blitz when you're down in this end of the field. And Grant Carter really forced, again, a tough throw from Damon Allen. See Carter right in the middle of your screen to the left there. He's up into Damon Allen's face right there. So Damon Allen had to kind of throw that one falling away.
Carter having a tremendous season, moving to the middle linebacker position this year here in Edmonton. The number 3 tackler with 67 coming into this game. Kes McCorvey, the lone Eskimo back. A low punt from Bisaglia. McCorvey has it on the fly at the 50 and is pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Tremendous field position for the Eskimos. A 32-yard punt and a 16-yard return by McCorvey in the sunshine here in Edmonton. Back in Edmonton, the Lions leading the Eskimos 14-3, and part of the BC game plan on defense, Glenn, was to make Nealon Green a pocket passer, and they've done that fairly successfully so far.
Yeah, controlled rush from the defensive front four when you get the 2 veterans on the edge with Herman Smith and David Benefield.
But now the Eskimos starting from the 35, and up the gut they go with Troy Mills bowling his way through that BC defense.
Well, you know, they go with that same series of plays once again. We talked about it the last time Edmonton had the ball, and this time David Benefield decides to go straight up the field. See, he is way out there with Nealon Green, so Nealon Green gives it to Troy Mills in the middle. Whatever those ends do depends on what Nealon Green does with the football.
Gain is 7, 2nd and 3 Eskimos. As Green uses that play action. Rolling to the left, he'll step up. First down and more. Green still running across the 10 of the Lions, and a huge first down for Edmonton.
Mike Fletcher was in a no-win scenario. No question, Mike Fletcher had no chance. This play is going to slide down the line, and the object of the play is to isolate Fletcher up at the top of your screen. Fletcher, does he go with Mills? Does he go back to Nealon Green? Either way, he's beat. Green decides to keep it himself.
It's exactly what Steve Barato feared the most. Nealon Green breaking containment, a 19-yard gain. 1st and goal, Edmonton. Green in the shotgun. He'll throw for the end zone, into the corner. It's incomplete. Intended for Nigel Williams. Eric Carter, close coverage on the play.
Little bit of pushing and shoving going on. Eric Carter was kind of leaning into Nigel Williams as he ran that go pattern, that seam.
He won't catch none.
Carter just kind of leaned on him, and as he went up for that pass, and I think it's a good no call by the official, because you're going to allow a little hand fighting in a playoff game.
The Lion DBs expecting to rough it up with the Eskimo receivers here this afternoon. 2nd and goal.
Snell is in the game on the corner.
At the 8, Green with time again. He'll throw to the goal line. Touchdown. Nigel Williams has it for the Eskimos.
Complete confusion in the secondary of the BC Lions, and they're talking about it right now.
Nealon Green to Nigel Williams for his 5th touchdown of the season. Williams has been rather quiet in the late weeks of this season receiving, so maybe the Eskimos have caught the Lions unaware by going to him so much this afternoon.
Well, they caught the Lions secondary with a couple of changes in there in a huge mistake.
Sean Fleming, the convert. It is good. And so the Eskimos have their first touchdown of this football game. Nigel Williams with his 5th of the year as they close the gap to 4. Look at the animated discussion on the BC Lions bench. The secondary, Bo Lewis, there's Ken Haley, one of the coaches, Central McClellan. They were in total disarray trying to cover that touchdown play to Nigel Williams. The secondary could be in trouble, and Snell has to play much more this afternoon.
Well, Bo Lewis is probably one of the most experienced inside defenders in that secondary with 3 years experience. That's not a whole lot.
Fleming's kickoff to the jet. Cunningham at his own 10-yard line. Quickly across the 25, outside into daylight, then hauled down as he crosses the 30 by Hensey Charles, the first man to make contact on special teams. A 65-yard kickoff and a 21-yard return.
Lots of confusion. Here's Chuck Levy playing out of position. He's influenced in here by Ricky Walters. Ricky Walters runs that seam, and Levy comes way too far inside. At the same time, the newcomer, Kelly Snell, is way too deep at the back of the end zone, really just covering grass. So two newcomers in the secondary make a key mistake at the wrong time. And that's why Bo Lewis was over there on the sideline trying to get him straight.
Snell is the 6th cornerback they've used on defense opposite to Eric Carter this year. Allen backpedaling. He'll pass. It's complete. Jimmy Oliver has it. He's clotheslined out of bounds shy of the 40-yard line, and on the BC bench they're still going over the chalkboard.
Well, it's a difficult situation when you consider that coming into the game, Chuck Levy was supposed to play corner, and you don't have to do a lot of thinking when you're a corner. You have to be a great athlete, but you don't have to use your head quite as much because you're out there on the island. The inside defenders have to do a lot more thinking. Now when you move Chuck Levy inside, hasn't taken a rep at halfback, it confuses him.
Of course, they lost Raphael Ball to a knee injury in that Hamilton game week 17. Robert Drummond gets the ball on the 2nd and 2.5 situation, burrowing himself very close to the first down marker. The game will be about 2 yards on the play.
And now Terry Ray is starting to get involved, and he's starting to settle into what the offense is trying to do for the BC Lions, and he meets Robert Drummond right in the hole. Want to go back to that Mike Fletcher punt return when he didn't give up the single. He doesn't give up the single there, and the Edmonton Eskimos end up with a major.
Yes, they opened that drive on the 35-yard line.
Because of the field position difference.
Exactly. So a costly error. A single turns into a touchdown. And it's 14-10 BC here, midway through the 2nd quarter of this Western semifinal. First down. Damon Allen and the Lions just across their own 41-yard line. Allen. Play action, good fake, rolling to the left. He can't find a receiver, breaks a tackle doing a spinorama, and goes down with a gain of about 7 yards.
Well, that should have been a lot more for Damon Allen, except for the speed of Terry Ray. Terry Ray recovered and made up for Albert Reese's mistake. See, there's the play action fake. Now the end, Albert Reese is way inside. He got caught, but Terry Ray's speed made up for his teammate's mistake, and he limits the gain. That should have been a much bigger gain from Damon Allen.
His patented naked bootleg. The gain is 7. Terry Ray, the leading tackler on this Eskimo defense, back from injury for this game. Back to pass. Out of the backfield to Robert Drummond. He's got it. It's across center field and tiptoes past Grant Carter out of bounds. Another first down for the BC Lions.
Robert Drummond has made 2 big catches in this football game. One on a shovel pass, and that one right there, that is not an easy catch. You're going back against your body and have to go down to the shoestrings to pick it off the turf. I mean, not huge plays, but big catches. That's a huge first down for the Lions.
Into this game with 66 catches to lead all receivers on this BC offense. Drummond today, look at the balance. 38 through the air, 42 on the ground. Shotgun, they fake the shovel. It's the reverse. Jimmy Oliver has it for the Lions. He's got a hole and more. Oliver outside and driven out of bounds just shy of the 30 by Chris Hardy as the Lions go to some trick plays.
Well, they've run the shovel play, and they've had success with it. In fact, Drummond had the touchdown. Now, Drummond this time goes here, and Oliver will come all the way back around. The key block is right on this man, Albert Reese, on the backside of the play. Here comes Oliver on the reverse. Now, look at that block right at the point of attack. Albert Reese is held up, and he can't get off it in time to get to Oliver.
Jimmy Oliver with 4.15 40 speed out of the Dallas Cowboys camp. Up the middle, it's the Diesel, Sean Millington, putting his head down and running right through the Eskimo defense to about the 10-yard line. Wow, 19-yard run.
First of all, give credit to the big boys up front because he's not touched till he gets into the secondary. Good down block by Craig Hendrickson and again by Chris Perez on Grant Carter. That opens the hole for Millington, and then watch the hit in the open field. Well, you don't want to beat Dwight Henry. Get out of the way of that truck.
Millington smiling with his first 1,000-yard season as a ball carrier. And he says he'd have more if they'd give him more opportunity in years gone by. At the 10-yard line, the Lions. The handoff, Millington again to the right side. This time it's heavy going as Ray makes the contact and forces the Diesel out of bounds for a short gain, maybe 2 on the play.
Yeah, and Grant Carter also sacrificed his body to help to make that play. Look at 47 on the left of your screen. He's going to get pancaked here, but he does enough and holds his own enough to string the play out long enough for Terry Ray to help him out. Sometimes you got to take a bullet for the team.
Put the line up.
Second and about 8 yards. It looks as though the Lions can get a first down without getting across the goal line. It's very close. 5 receiver set for BC. Millington stays to block into the end zone for Jackson. It's incomplete.
Tried to throw behind.
Ralph Staten with tremendous coverage. A big NFL-type defensive back.
Well, what they tried to do is use a little motion to get the one-on-one with Alfred Jackson on Ralph Staten, and they tried to throw behind where Damon Allen throws it to the back hip of Alfred Jackson, but Ralph Staten said, not on my shift, and knocks it down.
4 games this year against Calgary. Staten held Alan Pitts to 7 catches. He has a way of neutralizing big receivers, and so far in this game, AJ has been silenced.
Well, he's physical. Ralph Staten is a physical player. He's going to make you earn it. They don't have enough guys on the field goal team, and Louis Pasaglia is going to have to take a timeout.
Looked like Drummond was late coming back on the field.
Well, the way he was adjusting his helmet as he came on, he may have had an equipment problem, and I'm just speculating, but he's on that field goal team and ran back on the field late. Rather than take the loss, the delay of game, although Louis is still well within his range, even if they do, they take the timeout.
Yes, the ball will be spotted at the 16-yard line. Nussmeier to hold for Pasaglia.
But you certainly don't want to try a field goal with a man short. That's how you get one blocked.
Look at that percentage. Nearly perfect. Pasaglia's field goal is good. And so the Lions open a converted touchdown lead over Edmonton.
4:59 to play, second quarter. Lions in front by a touchdown, 17-10. Just before that field goal, I talked to Louis Pasaglia about the field conditions. He said it is fine right now, but the temperature is dropping. The field may get a little slippery.
Yes, as the shadows grow longer, the sun going down. You can see it now. The field is almost completely in shadow here at Commonwealth. And that could be a problem if it starts to ice up.
Here's the confidence that Don Matthews, you take a look at that frozen field, and that's over there in the shade. It did warm up in the sun. But confidence in his special teams from Don Matthews. Rather than take the ball on the 35 after the field goal, he's going to receive the kickoff.
Brett Anderson's kick coming down to Singor Mobley at his own 30. Runs right into a half dozen Lions and crashes down at about his own 35-yard line. Elon Green directing a touchdown pass to Nigel Williams on their last offensive series. Tremendous touchdown to interception ratio coming into this game, but 22 touchdown passes and just 6 interceptions when you consider that really he's only had 1 full season as a starting quarterback. During his second year at the helm in Edmonton. Shotgun formation, pitch pass, Hervey's got it, and a first down as he's knocked out of bounds at about the 52-yard line.
When you look at the pass distribution for Elon Green in this offense throughout the regular season, over 50% of the passes during the regular season went to the inside receivers, Terry Vaughn, Kes McCorvey, and Ricky Walters. Today, he's going outside to Ed Hervey and to Nigel Williams, Nigel Williams. Now, the reason for that rookies on the corner for the BC Lions.
And Snell was late getting on the field on defense at the corner. Play action now. Here's Green, flushed by Cantor. He'll roll right, directing his receivers. He's going to run, but he doesn't get far as Thomas puts the meat hooks into the quarterback.
That's pretty good speed from Marvin Thomas. Although, when you go out to the outside like that, I know Nealon Green was looking down the field for a receiver, so he really didn't put it in full gear. He's going to come this way, and when he does, he starts to look down the field and doesn't really run full speed. But Marvin Thomas, from behind, gets a good pursuit angle and runs him down to limit the gain.
The gain is 6 for Green, 2nd and 4.
Marvin Thomas is 265. That's not easy to move around.
He can rumble. Green in the shotgun. Pressure. He eludes the rush, gets it away, but it's incomplete, almost throwing it to the turf in safety. Noah Cantor twisting and turning with the scrambling quarterback.
He threw it away, Mark, because he was going to lose about 15 yards had he been sacked way back there. Noah Cantor gets the pressure immediately up the middle, and you see Green turning to his offensive line and saying, guys, we need a little better job than that. Cantor gets the free run at Green. He does elude that, but look how deep he is. Herman Smith's tracking him down. He loses 15 yards if he doesn't get rid of that football.
Yes, Cantor evading Leo Groenweg in the center for that pressure. Fleming's punt, high and deep. Fletcher backs into his end zone. The ball finally rolls there, and this time he'll concede a single, but there are flags on the play. It looks like the Eskimos will be guilty of no yards.
And if they are, they don't give up the point. But see, you see Mike Fletcher was told on the sideline, field position is so much more important than the single point at this juncture of the football game. He made the mistake once, turned into an Edmonton touchdown.
47-yard punt from Sean Fleming.
But he had to be patient on that football, didn't he? Because it didn't look like it was going to get across the goal line.
He backed in there and was waiting for the ball.
Well, the thing is, if he picks it up and then runs back into the end zone, it's a safety. And you give up 2 points and the football. As you look at a little of the fun in the playoffs away from the ball.
Yes, A.J. Gass and Kelly Snell locking horns.
No yards. Edmonton, number 47, declined. 1 point.
Because they get the extra field position, the Lions will decline and get it on the 35. Again, the single not a big deal at this juncture of the football game. Field position definitely is.
So Grant Carter will rally his defense as the Lions begin this series on the 35-yard line. The Eskimos haven't had much pressure on Damon Allen, and in 3 previous games have only 3 sacks to show for it. Allen up behind his center, Jamie Terrace. Quick drop, he'll throw the hitch pass. Oliver, good block from A.J. And Oliver is tackled after a 5-yard gain.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to have the devastating hit. A.J. just got a little push on Torrey Hunter, and it's all he needed.
So Jackson not catching any passes, but helping out with blocks. A big one here to Spring Oliver for a 5-yard gain. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Mark Lee, Glenn Suter, and Steve Armitage on a glorious afternoon here in Edmonton for playoff football. And a good one it is. BC leading Edmonton 17-11.
It really did warm up for game day. It was amazing because all week long the Edmonton Eskimos were practicing in -20 and blizzards.
Yes, Mother Nature has cooperated. It's this game being played at right about the 0 mark. 2nd down and 5. Pass is complete to Don Blair. He shakes and bakes, gets himself 5 or 6 more and another 1st down. Gain of 17 for Don Blair, who earlier this year was outspoken as this Lions team threatened to fall apart from finger pointing.
Well, early in the year, Don Blair was struggling as well. In his first 9 games, the first 9 that he played, he had less than 300 yards receiving. And then in the last 6 games, after Steve Barato took over, he had over 300 yards, almost 350 receiving. Really has come on under Steve Barato.
Yes, Steve Barato telling us he had 3 separate private chats with Don Blair, and now he's onside. Here's Drummond with the handoff. moving quickly. Terry Ray makes the stop just shy, it looks like, very close to the first down marker.
Watch the big boys up front. These big guys up front for the Lions right now are starting to control the line of scrimmage. Jamie Terrace and Chris Perez come around. There's Terrace 60 and Perez 62. They're leading it up, and they get Grant Carter and Terry Ray on roller skates a little bit.
Fair to say, though, that Steve Corrado really brought a sense of calm to this football club when he took over in late August.
Completely different than Greg Mons, no question about that.
2nd and 1, Lions. Allen handing off, Drummond diving, very close.
Yeah, I don't know. Depends on where the ref will put his foot down. Doug Peterson right in the middle of that one.
Peterson paying the price physically there, putting his head in harm's way.
They had a long, well, almost 2 yards. They're going to measure it because it's that close. Robert Drummond will get the forward progress.
Here's the measurement. Oh, they'll be shy by about half the length of the football.
Now, you know, normally that's a given that you're going to go ahead and gamble, and I know that that's what Steve Corrado will likely do, but on a frozen turf at Commonwealth, the gamble becomes that much more of a gamble. It takes one slip in the backfield, one slip from Damon Allen, he goes down, and it's a huge turnaround for the Edmonton Eskimos to go into the half. They get the football a chance for some points. So this gamble becomes that much more unnerving, I guess you could say, for Steve Corrado. He's over there on the sideline going, anything can happen on a frozen field.
A magnified 3rd down gamble, 6 inches to go. Allen barking the signals. He'll sneak and up underneath his blockers and have the first down.
Damon Allen keeps it
An
himself.
entire offensive line moving like a wave.
When you look at this offense for the BC Lions, number 1, passing the football in the regular season, first throwing the football. I mean, a lot of people think Montreal and Calgary lead those categories. It's not true. It's a BC Lion offense, and they've been playing their best football down the stretch.
Leading in most yards rushing, most yards passing. It is a first down at the 41. Allen, play action, back to pass, pressure, steps up in the pocket, fakes, he'll run. Allen weaving, tackled by Grant Carter, just short of the 3rd down marker at the 30. The gain is about 9 as the Cat, the veteran, Damon Allen, shows how it's done.
Well, I love the poise from Damon Allen. He's going to look, but look at the way that the defenders for the Edmonton Eskimos are up on the line. They're only like 5 yards off the line and then controlling those receivers downfield. But the poise of Damon Allen doesn't really have an open receiver anywhere, but doesn't panic. Hangs onto the football and pick up what you can, and it turned out to be a pretty good game.
The Lions dominating the ground game as another measurement is taken, and they'll be just less than a yard short of the first down.
You see how those Edmonton defenders are now starting to challenge the receivers, but look at the poise of Allen. Just out in the open field, doesn't have to force a throw down the field. You talk about Nealon Green not throwing many interceptions. Well, Allen's in that same category, just 11 on the season for him. Protects the football.
So it's 2nd down and less than a yard as Allen marches up under his center. Lions stacking the box. There's a fumble. Ball's on the field. Eskimos say they've got it, but it looks like Allen may have fallen on it.
Well, it looked to me like Damon Allen was trying to pull out of there in a hurry. His left leg moved away from the center. Look at his left leg down here. He pulled away too soon, and when he did that, the ball came down to the turf. Now, he does recover it, but he recovers it a yard back. So that puts him in 3rd in a real long way. A real long yard. Almost 2.
He appeared to look injured as he was walking off the field.
Could have jammed his fingers. That snap.
Nothing more important to a passer than his fingers.
Back up a bit.
Field goal attempt from Pasaglia will come from the 40.
See him checking his plant foot there to make sure the ground is solid.
Doug Nussmeier, the backup quarterback, to hold. Pasaglia kicks, it's low, and it's wide left. Hunter will take the ball out of the end zone for the Eskimos. Weaving, still going. Tremendous return on the wide field goal by Torrey Hunter.
from center between Jamie Terrace and Damon Allen turns into no points on a good drive for the BC Lions. This is a moral victory for the Edmonton Eskimos. The Lions had started to control the line of scrimmage, started to move that football. A bobbled snap at center. Torrey Hunter brings out the missed field goal. No points for the Lions on the drive.
Yes, what looked like a sure scoring drive bungled. Let's go down to Steve.
Thank you, Mark. Coming up at halftime, we'll be talking to the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders. They'll be hosting the Western Final, Wally Buono. And, of course, Glenn will have the highlights.
Here's Green with time. Outside, Williams goes up for it and comes down inbounds. It's a catch and a first down for Edmonton. A 15-yard game. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Nealon Green going back to that same play where he fakes it or gives it to Troy Mills in the middle, gets to the outside, and then has the option to run or pass. All season long, it's been the same set.
40 seconds to go. Eskimos trying to get close enough for at least a field goal. Green with time, but he's using up the clock, looking for a receiver. Can't make up his mind. He'll run and go out of bounds for a very short game. But that ate up 9 seconds on the clock for a 2-yard gain.
It's the only set that they show and the only series of plays that they've shown in this game. And watch how they do it. I'll show it to you one more time. This time it's going to isolate Herman Smith. There's the outside. See Herman Smith get caught right in the top of your screen there. He can't get to the outside. And all the time that Nealon Green has after the play action to Troy Mills. And once again, they're in the same set. There's Mills right beside him in the exact same set.
2nd and 8. 31 seconds to play in the first half. Flags are down. Green passing complete to Terry Vaughn, but the play is blown down.
You know what happened, Mark, is what Troy Mills wanted to do was cut in front, in between the center, snapping the ball to Nealon Green, but because he did that, it delayed the snap. See, watch the play. It's designed for Troy Mills to come in front of the center right here, in front of Nealon. Whoops. I'll fix my pen there. Right in front of the center. That delayed the snap from Leo Groenwagen, and that got everybody offside, it looks like.
So the officials still conferencing at the 45-yard line. And yes, it will go against the Eskimos.
I've sharpened my
Legal
pencil on
procedure.
back.
Edmonton, number 62. Second down, repeat it. Please reset the clock to 31 seconds. 31 seconds, please.
So Bruce Beaton called for illegal procedure on the Eskimo offensive line. They'll put 1 second back on the clock to 31.
Now the Lions secondary in this situation want to give more room than normal, but not too much, because that's enough time to get into field goal range.
2nd and 13, the situation. Tough 2nd and long for the young quarterback. Green will throw. It's tipped and nearly intercepted. Carl Kidd diving for it, but the ball hit the ground before he can catch it.
David Benefield has to be careful. He got back there on Nealon Green, and he's very lucky that he didn't get a penalty for unnecessary roughness. Threw Nealon Green down to the ground. I'm not sure he didn't have his hand around his neck. Watch 56 come up high. You get your hands and your arms up high on a quarterback, and they have been calling that during the year, and then he throws him to the ground after the fact. David Benefield might have got away with one right there.
Benefield coming into this game after missing last week with an Achilles tendon injury. Looking sharp here in the first half, putting pressure on Green and keeping him contained for the most part. 26 seconds to go until halftime. Fleming standing at his own 30. Gets a high spiraling beauty. Mike Fletcher at his own 26. Flags are down though. Fletcher tries to get out of bounds. He won't, as he's wrestled by Grant Carter at the 30.
Well, I was going to say, depending on how far this return came back, Damon Allen would still have time for field goal range. Now, if this penalty is against the Lions, which it likely will be, pushes this return back. They're discussing it now. And he'll just want to get out of the half with the lead, I'm sure.
Like Fleming looking to see whether they wanted to re-punt that ball. Here's Ken Lasser.
Too many players. BC, decline. First down.
because it's before the fact, too many players on the field. If the Edmonton Eskimos accept the penalty, they have to punt it again. And you never know in the special teams in Canadian football, you can break one at any time. So Don Matthews electing to go ahead, decline the penalty, thinking that Damon Allen will likely just try and end this half.
Glenn Allen was favoring his left hand after that fumble on the last series. Remains in the game.
See, they're just going to kneel down a couple of times and get out of this half with the lead.
It'll be second down, Lions, with a 17-11 lead here. 13 seconds until the half. 2 big touchdowns by Robert Drummond. And they'll run the clock out here on this play.
The way this half has gone, I think the Edmonton Eskimos should be happy the fact that they're still in this football game. It could be worse for them right now.
Damon Allen will take a knee. The gun will sound, and that's the opening half of this Western semifinal. The BC Lions leading the Edmonton Eskimos by a score of 17-11 with tremendous balance on offense. Nealon Green with 1 touchdown pass in that opening half to Nigel Williams, but he has been held in check in terms of his running game. Don Matthews heads to the sidelines to regroup. We'll join the BC Lions head coach, Steve Barato, on the sideline. Steve, your offense has been working like a charm, save for that last fumble. How did you see the first half?
I was very pleased with the way we were able to run the football, and we got a couple of big plays throwing it. A couple 2-and-outs that I would not have had. And we made a mistake the first time they punted us deep. We were supposed to give up 1 and get the field position. The ball didn't come down near the goal line like he anticipated, so we went ahead and caught it instead of letting it go in the end zone and take the 1 point. That gave them a touchdown, and not very pleased with the way we're covering kicks. We need to make an improvement there.
All right, Steve, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Steve Barato of the BC Lions, his team with a 6-point lead at the half, 17-11 over the Edmonton Eskimos here at Commonwealth.
It's halftime here at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. The BC Lions in front of the Eskimos by a score of 17-11. Joining me now, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders, Wally Buono. Wally, before we talk about the half here, how about a quick thought on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers beating Hamilton?
Well, again, it was a great game, and you know, for Dave Ritchie, I'm very happy. Obviously, for Ronnie, you're a little bit disappointed, but you got to give Winnipeg a lot of credit. To go into Ivor Wynne Stadium and win is a big feather in their hat.
Wally, I know you're not surprised the fact that the BC Lions are leading the Eskimos at the half here.
Well, no, like I say, BC's played very well. They've executed their offense very well, and you know, Damon Allen's used all his weapons. He's got a lot of weapons out there, both running and throwing, and they've been very effective.
Are you surprised that Nealon Green hasn't been running the ball more for the Eskimos?
Well, it looks like right now he wants to, you know, focus more on throwing the football, but you know, whether the coverage is taking that away from him, he doesn't appear to be as quick to take off as maybe he has against us.
I think the BC Lions have done a pretty good job of forcing him into the pocket.
Well, they've tried to keep people in front of him, and obviously that's had its effect. But I think right now, you know, they're lucky to be in the game. Right, you know, like I said, the game was pretty much one-sided, but you know, something like this can change around after halftime.
Let's talk about the Western Final next week at McMahon Stadium. You dominated the BC Lions over the course of the regular season. Different story for the Eskimos. Do you have a preference?
Well, obviously, I'm going to say we don't have a preference. I think as you see out here, they're both very good football teams that have a lot of weapons. You know, we've concentrated last week on just going back to training camp and trying to improve certain things. You know, obviously, to be the representative in the West, you got to be able to beat both teams. Our guys have a lot of confidence. They feel good about where they're at this year, and obviously, next Sunday is going to be a tremendous game.
What about your physical and mental preparation for that Western Final this past week and the coming week?
Well, this week was excellent. You know, we did practice 3 days, and you know, the weather was very inclement. We had some snow and some very cold weather, so it prepared us for that. Hopefully next week it won't be that bad, but if it is, then we'll get confidence from that. I think the big thing is the players feel good about themselves. They feel good about where we're at, you know, with our team, with the health of our team, and I think that plays a big part of it this time of year.
City of Calgary is hosting the Grey Cup. Your fans would like to see the Stampeders in it. Is that extra pressure?
Well, I don't think it's extra pressure. Everybody knows that. We've known that now for well over 2 years. when you look at the expectation, the club has pretty much fulfilled that. We wanted to be in the Western Final. We are. We're going to line up next Sunday and give it all we have.
Wally, what do you do when you get back to Calgary and talk to this team in terms of who you're going to meet?
Well, I think we have a veteran team, so hopefully my talking is going to be very limited. The players have already talked among themselves, and they know what it's all about. They're here to win, and next Sunday is the first step to the Grey Cup.
Wally, thanks for doing this, and good luck next Sunday.
Well, thank you.
Wally Bono, the head coach of the Calgary Stampeders, who will host the Western Final. It will either be the BC Lions or the Edmonton Eskimos. The Lions leading at the half by a score of 17.
Pro Tips with Chris Walby. Brought to you by Dodge.
Hey, welcome to Pro Tips in wintry Winnipeg. Let me tell you something. It's playoff time, and that means the running game's got to come to the front. With me today, Dave Van Coen and Brett McNeil to show you the scoop block.
Thanks, Chris. Sleeves will be off. We'll be ready to play. We got a 30 front. Nose guard's in front of me. The play's going to the right. I have to chip off the nose guard, watch the flow of the linebacker in order to get off and block him. Let's run through it one time. Said, hut. Now I have to pin this guy, watching the flow of him. If he comes slow, I can get on him. If he comes fast, I have to leave faster, pin him, let the play go on the outside. That's a scoop block.
I'm going to tell you what a great tip, and that's why the running game is always so successful in Winnipeg. See you next time.
Pro Tips with Chris Walby. Brought to you by Dodge.
Nice toque on the big man out in Hamilton today, where his team, the Bombers, prevailed in the semifinal. The footwear has been a huge story here in Edmonton with this frosty, frozen, natural grass field at Commonwealth Stadium, but neither team appears to have had trouble with footwear. And talk about passing, the league's all-time leading passer, Damon Allen, came out winging the football.
Well, all week long, the Edmonton Eskimos were preparing to stop the inside running game from the BC Lions. And what does Damon Allen do to start this football game? He goes right up top with the deep ball on the play action to Drummond. This is the very first series of the first half. He goes down the field to Sean Graham, makes a big catch. That results in the Lions' first touchdown. And then later in that first quarter, again, it's Allen. Great poise in the pocket, throwing a nice touch pass to Robert Drummond for his second in the first half. But Nealon Green does respond.
Yes, 9 of 13, Damon Allen, 2 touchdowns in that first half. But a miscue, not conceding the single, led to good field position and this touchdown for the Eskimos.
Nealon Green taking advantage of confusion in the BC Lions secondary with Chuck Levy and Kelly Snell.
So instead of giving up 1 point on what should have been a conceded punt, they give up 7. It's a closer football game than it should be. How about, though, the Eskimos not taking advantage of the problems, the confusion in the BC Lions secondary?
Well, that's right. Due to injuries to Central McClellan, Chuck Levy's have to move into halfback with Snell in the corner. And I just talked to George Cortez, offensive coordinator for Calgary Stampeders. He said Nealon's going after that secondary in the second half.
Well, Nealon Green had trouble finding his receivers in the first half. He's back after the half here in Edmonton, and we expect more from the young gun and the veteran here in the second half. Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. It's 17-11, the Lions leading the Eskimos. Let's go down to the... Let's look at the field situation, though. We talked about it at halftime, Glenn, as we look at the stats. Yeah. Both teams have really not had much trouble negotiating the frozen turf.
And here's what I like, too. Look at the balance right here. The balance in the running game and the passing game for the BC Lions. 137 in the passing game, 135 in the run game. Tremendous balance out of them, and they, because of that, have controlled the football and won the time of possession battle in the first half.
Nealon Green had some chances to find receivers. He couldn't get them in the first half. We think he'll have a better chance after a chalk talk in the half. Let's go to the sidelines now. Steve Armitage is with Eskimos head coach Don Matthews.
Don, you're down by 6 as we begin this second half. What'd you tell your team at halftime?
Well, we're going to receive the kickoff. We've got a chance to get right back even on this kickoff, and then our offensive series. Then it's a brand new ball game.
Are we going to see Nealon Green run the ball more?
Well, we're going to run when we get the opportunity, but certainly they're trying to cut down those lanes.
Don, good luck the second half.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, Herman Smith and David Benefield have boxed in Nealon Green, effectively keeping him in the pocket.
But he has had time in that pocket because of the control. They had to rush. They're going to slow down their rush a little bit, give him more time to throw, and then rely on a shaky secondary at this point.
Yes. Brett Anderson to kick off the second half. Singor Mobley lets it bounce, bobbles it, then falls on it at his own 30-yard line. A scary opening to the second half as Mobley nearly gives it up. Shades of the first half and the opening kickoff 1 week ago when Troy Mills fumbled the ball away to Winnipeg.
Well, he kind of kicks it around. He was very lucky that he doesn't hand it right back to BC. That is a momentum shift they do not need. But right now the key is this secondary for the BC Lions, and whether or not Nealon Green will try and take advantage of some of the changes that the Lions have had to make.
Mike Crum deep at the free safety position. The handoff up the gut as a pile of players move across the 35-yard line. Big handoff there to Daniels.
When you look at both quarterbacks in the first half, pretty good numbers, 9 of 13, 9 of 14. Not a whole lot to separate the two except the extra touchdown pass from Damon. No interceptions so far in the game.
Nealon Green has been sharp in that department, as we mentioned in the opening part of this football game. 22 touchdowns to 6 interceptions this season. First down, Eskimos. Or rather, second down. Play action now. Trouble. Fumble ball on the pitch out. Mills has it again as this Eskimo offense dodged another bullet.
How did he get that back? That was like he dribbled it.
And that was behind, so that would have been a fumble. It was not a pass.
No question about it. It's that same option play down the line of scrimmage. You fake the dive to your fullback, come down the line. Now, Mike Fletcher forces the issue, but you know what happened? Herman Smith gave him the bounce pass right back. Oh, that's rather be lucky than good is what it is.
Green comes off the field, a punt situation for Sean Fleming. Mike Fletcher, instrumental in that play, back to receive. Fleming gets a good spiraling punt deep to Fletcher at his own 26. Fletcher straight up the middle, breaking tackles, and finally pulled down on a shoestring tackle by Justin Ring.
And Sean Fleming was standing back there thinking, oh no, don't tell me on a bad ankle I'm going to have to tackle Mike Fletcher in the open field. Fletcher just hits it right up there, shows no fear at all as he takes it right up Main Street. But look at Sean Fleming going, please get him. Please get him.
Right through some arm tackles. Charles Assman missing him there, number 44. First down, BC Lions at their own 53 on the ground. Robert Drummond hit hard, upended, right at the line of scrimmage. There's pushing and shoving in the trenches. A.J. Gass making contact there. Gain maybe one.
Well, the Edmonton Eskimos on the defensive line really collapsed it. Sean Millington was trying to get the lead block right at the point of attack and really didn't get it done.
Millington became a roadblock there for his fellow back. Tackling Gass, it looked like, and it's a second and long situation. 2nd and 9 at the 54. 3 receivers to the short side. Allen rolling right. He'll throw. Intended for Oliver. He's got it and steps out of bounds at the 45 for a BC first down.
And that ball was right on the spot. Tremendous timing, and this is the timing of the play. When Oliver makes his break right here, right now the ball's in the air. So when he flips that head around, there it is. Perfect timing, and it's right on the money. But you have to throw it before the receiver makes his break and trust that Oliver is going to be where you expect him to be.
Oliver looking smart today. He's been battling a groin injury in the latter half of this season. Play action, naked bootleg. Damon Allen with time, throws it. It's complete. Don Blair has it, and another first down for the Lions as Allen throws across the grain a tough pass.
Unreal. It just is amazing how effortless it is for Damon Allen. I mean, he just rolls to his left and flips it with his wrist back against the grain with Grant Carter hitting him right in the chin. I mean, there are not many people in the world can do that.
16-yard gain by Don Blair on the catch. Another first down, Lions.
Comes blitz.
Quick throw. Oliver's got the outlet pass, and he beats the outside DB for another first down. as Henry finally makes the tackle, the sophomore who was acquired from Montreal this year.
2 ways to beat the blitz. One is to try and block it up. The other is to get rid of the ball in a hurry. Damon Allen took the latter because he got rid of that football before the blitz could get home. Everybody's coming on the line of scrimmage. Look at that. Right there. Here they come. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of the football. Blitz has no time to get there.
Veteran quarterback Allen making the good read. First down. Lions at the Edmonton 12-yard line. Handoff. Sean Millington, straight arm, puts his head down and rumbles for a few.
Well, Steve Anderson really made Sean Millington bubble that, or else he gets a lot more yards and probably scores. Steve Anderson, we mentioned, watch what he does right at the point of attack. He makes Sean Millington turn his shoulders to the field by pushing back his man. That limits the gain. If Millington gets those shoulders going downfield, he's awful tough to bring down.
Anderson had knee surgery just 10 days ago. Here he is playing in this West semifinal and playing hard.
It's playoff time, man. You got to go.
The gain was 5 on the Millington carry. 2nd and 5 from the 8. Pass, Allen. It's complete to the Jet. He strides into the end zone. Touchdown, BC Lions. What an effective opening drive here to start the second half.
Well, Jimmy Oliver is the guy who makes the play for Jimmy Cunningham.
They call that the rub, or is it the pick?
Well, if you're the Edmonton Eskimos secondary, it's a pick. If you're the BC Lions, it's just nothing but a simple rub. But you see Jimmy Oliver take 2 defensive backs for the Edmonton Eskimos completely out of the play, leaving Cunningham wide open.
Jimmy Cunningham with his 4th touchdown of the season. Now the entire stadium is in shadows as the sun begins to fall in the western sky here in Edmonton. The temperature dropping. The point after from Pasaglia is good.
That's for you, baby. I love you.
Just like that, the Jet, proud father of a newborn boy this week, has a touchdown and a 24-11 lead. Jimmy Cunningham bundled on the BC sideline as the Lions open the second half the way they did the first with a touchdown.
Cunningham breaks out, hold it right there. Look at the perfect pick set up right here by Jimmy Oliver. He doesn't go after Ralph Staten, but he holds his man up right where Staten has to try and cut through. He can't bubble around the pick, and Cunningham is wide open. Cunningham gets the stats. He gets the touchdown. But hey, honorable mention to Jimmy Oliver on the drive.
On the entire drive, yes, instrumental. Catching and blocking. Anderson's kickoff is deep to Terry Vaughn at the 18. Vaughn, stutter step, breaks a tackle, some good blocks, gets outside, but can't evade the kicker, Anderson, who hauls him down from behind. A 57-yard kickoff, an 18-yard return as the Jet celebrates his 4th touchdown.
Let's hope he went over to Jimmy Oliver and said, hey, thanks, because that was your drive, because Jimmy Oliver was a big part of it. Caught an out to keep the drive alive. Then Damon Allen went to Blair. There's Oliver keeping the drive going down the sideline. And then Oliver made the key pick to allow Jimmy Cunningham to get in the end zone. 2 Jimmies.
Nealon Green complete to Kes McCorvey, one of the best pass route runners in the league, and some great jigs there. First down territory as the Eskimos get close to center field.
Kes McCorvey is a route runner, but he shows the great cutting ability after the catch as well. See how he steps Bo loose to the outside? Now he catches the football. Watch the jab step. Jab step there. That sells it. Jab step there. Sometimes when you're
DBs to stand back 10 yards and try to hit him on the break. That one he cut off early and got some room. Here's Green scrambling. Pursuit now. Gets outside. Will he run? Yes. Nealon Green steps out of bounds for the first down for the Eskimos.
No way Nealon Green should have got out of that one. 3 BC Lion defenders had him. He beat all 3.
Yes, Herman Smith looked like he had him contained early.
Well, there was 3. Look at Herman Smith is up there. Look at that. There's 3 of them.
And Keith Jackson can't get him.
And on the chase at the backside, you see Marvin Thomas, and he can't get there either.
The Green lets his legs walk the talk. First down, Edmonton. Pass situation in the shotgun. He'll throw. It's low. It's caught by Mills. Then he drops it. Incomplete.
Well, this is the situation. Lions defensively want to put Nealon Green in, second and long. But you can tell when the game starts to slip away for the Edmonton Eskimos, like it has all season long, Nealon Green will rely on his legs.
You know, Green has that draw option, naked bootleg, a play which has 3, often 4 possibilities. We haven't seen a lot from him. He's been back in the shotgun, showing pass many of these occasions. 2nd and 10, Edmonton. Green, shotgun, pressure. He's going to run again. Kidd gets him from behind. The ball's down. Troy Mills falls on it.
Carl Kidd reacts. I think he stripped the ball out of there.
Green runs the ball up the middle and gets it inside to BC 40.
They went to signal first down, but I don't know that they have it just yet. I think when he fumbled the ball, he may have had first down yardage when he went down, but when he fumbled it, the ball bounced back about a half a yard or yard and a half. There's the strip. The ball bounced backwards right there, loses first down yardage when Mills recovers it. Because when he's going down right now, right at that point, he's real close to the first down marker, if not first down territory.
Excuse me, Glenn. Carl Kidd with the strip there, playing his 5th game in the CFL. It's a 46-yard attempt for Fleming with that sore foot. Oh, look at that. Lots of leg as he splits the uprights. No problem. The big kicker, playing in pain with broken blood vessels, puts it through the uprights for Edmonton. Back at Commonwealth Stadium, well, these kickers paths crossed 25 years ago when Sean Fleming was a child and Louis Pasaglia was a rookie in the CFL.
1976, Sean Fleming was taking a flight from Edmonton to Vancouver. He's in behind with the Toucan, and he was on the plane the BC Lions were on. Jerry Taggy, the quarterback at that time, took him through the plane to get autographs. Well, just recently, in fact, last week, he was checking that autograph book, and Louis Pasaglia's name was on it.
Yes, and Sean Fleming says he might ask for Louis' autograph here today. Robert Drummond outside the right tackle, rumbling hard, and he steps out of bounds right at the first down marker at the 45-yard line. Drummond has had all kinds of daylight going outside the tackles.
Yeah, he looks to break to the outside in a hurry, but again, the offensive line for BC really controlling the line of scrimmage. Right now, that defensive line for the Edmonton Eskimos, Steve Anderson, Robert Brown, Albert Reese are getting on roller skates a little bit. Now it's slippery, which gives the advantage to the offense, always.
So 2nd and less than 1 on that 9.5-yard gallop by Drummond. Allen will hand off to Millington. He's got the first down and more. Still going. Millington breaking tackles, running right through the Eskimo defense. Finally hauled down at about the Edmonton 45 as boos go up here at the stadium. A 19-yard carry by the Diesel.
You cannot arm tackle that horse. There is no way in the world. Now you see the great way that the two running backs in BC complement each other. Drummond with the speed to the outside, and look at the big man pounded up the middle.
The all-purpose back, hard running, one of the best blockers in the CFL, and number 3 in special team tackles for the Lions. Handoff, Millington again running hard. They finally cut him down at the knees, and he rolls to the 40. It was Terry Ray going toe-to-toe.
Well, that's what some tacklers will try and do with Millington. If he starts to carry people, he'll start to try and go low on Millington, try and cut him down. But the problem with doing that too often is that Millington's a good enough athlete to jump over you, and if you go down to his knees too early, he can make you look silly in a hurry.
Rushing game dominated clearly by the BC Lions. Nearly 100 yards more than the Eskimos.
We knew they'd both run, but got a little more out of Edmonton.
And they're eating up the clock. Allen looked like a design quarterback draw. Room, more room, and here he goes. First down as he slides across the 25. First down for the Lions, and Brad Miller, the Eskimo defensive coordinator, racking his brain now to figure out how to stop this Lion ground game.
Well, Brad Miller can do the X's and O's all he wants and can have the perfect defense, but you can't defend against the athletic ability of a great running quarterback. The best running quarterback in CFL history. He just makes it look so smooth. He runs down the field.
Yes. 3 years shy of his 40th birthday and still looking young and fit. Allen will pass into the flats. Right side, Robert Drummond hit hard by Garrett, forced out of bounds, but it looks like he'll have another first down.
Again, I go back to the balance between the BC Lion offensive attack. I mean, they're mixing up the run. We see Drummond running to the outside, then Millington pound on a couple of runs up the middle. Then Allen goes to the quick passing game to Drummond to the outside. A couple of crossing patterns he's thrown in there, and then he decides to run once. Great balance will always make it hugely tough for the defense to try and stop you if you got balance on offense.
And all that, and they haven't yet thrown AJ a pass as Pow, the offensive coordinator, looks on. Damon Allen passing, and AJ gets his number called this time. Touchdown, BC Lions. Jackson's first catch is a touchdown today.
Yeah, there's the balance. Now, you just mentioned it. Haven't had AJ involved in the offense yet. Well, there you go. Now involved. Touchdown catch for Action Jackson, and he's just going to run the out pattern. Perfect throw on time. Chris Hardy got caught in a one-on-one with Alfred Jackson.
Alfred Jackson with his 13th touchdown catch of the season, playing in this game with ligament damage in one of his hands, and showing soft hands on that one from Damon Allen. Saglia with the convert attempt as Nussmeier counts to make sure they've got 12 on the field. Allen so far today, 15 of 19 for 213 yards and 4 touchdowns. Saglia splits the uprights, and now this one is getting away from the Eskimos. With 5:15 to play in the third quarter, it's BC leading Edmonton 31-14 as Drummond leads the way. Alfred Jackson comes out of hiding here in the third quarter with his first catch, and he makes it a big one.
Well, again, Damon Allen in the zone like he's been for the last 4 weeks of the regular season. Throws it on time, on stride to Alfred Jackson, who beat Chris Hardy to the outside of the field and gets in the end zone. Hardy had to switch up and jump him from the safety position, and Chris Hardy is not a cover defensive back. He's a roaming ball hockey defensive back.
Ralph State, who's had him covered like a blanket for most of the game, was nowhere to be found. That kickoff drilled into Philippe Girard's hands, a line drive at the 50. He's got it, then he's pounded.
Well, they want a penalty. The crowd here at Commonwealth think that Girard put his knee down and therefore was down. But that's not the case. He caught that in the air. He can get up and still run with the football, so there's no penalty for hitting him once he's down. But amazing that he even was able to grab that one out of the air. So he's not down there. He can get up and run until he's hit by Roger Reinson. So even though the crowd wanted a penalty, they're not getting it.
You can't concede at center field in the CFL.
No, I don't think so.
Girard with a good set of hands for a defensive lineman, and great field position for the Eskimos here. First down at the BC 50. Nealon Green will hand off to Troy Mills, breaking a tackle, a huge penetration into the BC territory as he's down to the 35, a 15-yard carry by Mills.
Showed it to you 3 times now. That's the same formation. Give it to Mills, continue to the outside. Next time we'll see him fake it to Mills and take it to the outside. They've run it all game. They've run it all year. And what surprises me a little bit is that they're staying with it down 31-14. Sooner or later, they got to put this football in the air.
Eskimos trying to respond to consecutive touchdowns by the Lions. Play action. Green with all kinds of time. Can't find a receiver, and he's hauled down at the line of scrimmage.
Terry Vaughn was open over the middle, but he didn't open until late. Terry Vaughn, initially, Vaughn's coming from this side, and he's going to end up getting over here open, but it's way too late for Nealon Green to find him. You see, everyone else is covered. McCorvey's covered down here at the bottom. You can't, but look right up there. There he is, wide open over the middle, but by that time, Green's getting pulled down.
Second down and about 9. Green will pass across the middle. It's complete to Ricky Walters. He fumbles the ball. The Lions have it. Chuck Levy. And it looked like Kelly Lockbaum got it free. And Kidd is down on the field and appears to be hurt.
Early in the game, Ricky Walters dropped one right in the chest, something that he hadn't done all year long. He is having trouble this afternoon finding the handle of that football. This time he catches it. Lockbaum comes across with the hit and pops it out of there. And then you see Kidd down in the bottom of that pile. Levy comes up with the fumble.
See the receiver get up slower.
Kelly Lockbaum, who at one point was a starting middle linebacker on this BC defense, which has gone through 5 middle linebackers, juggling to find the right combination. But a huge turnover on what looked like a promising Eskimo drive.
Tyrell is a member of the War Amps Camp program. He knows there can be dangers in everyone's neighborhood. He lost his leg in a lawnmower accident. Recently, Tyrell visited the Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton to present the Play Safe Award to the Eskimos. Together, they have a message for kids everywhere.
Spot the danger.
Play safe.
The CFL is proud to support the War Amps Play Safe program.
Touchdown!
Yay! Good job.
Play safe.
No, I'm
Kelly Lockbaum getting some congratulations from his coaches up high.
Talking to Rick Stubler up in the booth, and he's getting an attaboy. Attaboy for stripping the ball out of there.
Ricky Walters letting it go. Chuck Levy recovering the fumble. Millington up the middle, breaking tackles, hurdling defenders, and rumbling for a big first down on the ground.
Well, the guy that was up in the booth talking to Kelly Lockbaum was this guy right over here, Rich Stubler, defensive coordinator. When Steve Barato took over, Rich Stubler was the DB coach, still is, but he also does a lot of the defensive coordination, because as soon as Barato took over, Don Lindsay was out, and Rich Stubler controlled that defense from that point on.
And this is a completely different scheme that this defense has had to learn through the second half of the season. Stubler, of course, fashioning some mighty defenses right here in Edmonton over the years. And he's had to coordinate a secondary full of all kinds of inexperienced players. And so far, they have foiled Elon Green.
Here's the injury, the fumble. Kelly Lockbaum strips the ball out right there. Carl Kidd went after that football late. He's the guy who got hurt. 26 right there. I think Lockbaum's helmet hit him right in the thigh, or in the stomach, or in a spot he's not supposed to touch on TV.
Kidd is a menacing defender, taking a bench right now on the sideline. Green, or rather Allen throwing.
Oh, baby!
It's complete, and what a hit. Torrey Hunter nailed Donnie Blair, but he's up and he's okay.
I love it. First of all, the great hit. You see the scars on the helmet to prove it from Torrey Hunter. Look at the top of his helmet with the black scars. But then Don Blair, after taking the biggest hit of this game, one of the biggest on the season right there, gets up and gives him the first down signal.
Let's listen to that hit. Wow. Right on the chin. But Blair pops up and signals the first down for BC. Play action, bootleg, deep down the sideline. Oliver is open, but the ball is overthrown.
Damon Allen throws to number 85, Jimmy Oliver.
He had Jimmy Oliver in behind Dwight Henry.
Second down.
And what Oliver will say when he gets back to the huddle, good throw, good idea. Just put a little bit more air on that football and let me run underneath it.
Jimmy Oliver, 4.15 seconds in the 40, one of the fastest men in the CFL, but not fast enough to track down that bomb from Damon Allen. He was in the Dallas Cowboys camp, but couldn't crack their starting lineup, and he's been an asset here today for the BC Lions. Second down and 10. Allen, shotgun pressure. It's complete to Robert Drummond, all kinds of room, first down and more. Then he slips on the advertising at the 45-yard line.
What a great call. Offensive coordinator Joe Palpal working with Damon Allen. It's the perfect call with the defense that was presented to Damon Allen, because Edmonton wanted to go with the blitz off the edge. You see Staten right there. He's coming with the blitz. You throw the screen away from the blitz side, and away they go.
Yes, slipping. The footing perhaps becoming a bit of a problem as the sun has gone down and the temperature is dropping. Pau working magic with the play selection here today. Handoff, Drummond up the middle for a few with 20 seconds and ticking to go here in the third quarter. Reese making the tackle, but the Lions monopolizing the ball here in the third.
Well, they controlled the time of possession stat in the first half. They've got to be controlling it in this third quarter, and sooner or later, this Edmonton defense is going to get worn down. They're getting pounded by Sean Millington and Robert Drummond up the middle, and that wears on you by the fourth quarter if you're on the field too long.
It's been the 3D backfield. Drummond, Damon, and the Diesel, Sean Millington, having their way with the Eskimo defense. Allen will throw deep. Alfred Jackson is open. He can't get the ball. It's incomplete with double coverage as the gun sends the third quarter into abeyance with 1 quarter to go. It's BC leading Edmonton 31-14. There's young Danny Langsdorff, the second-year coach here in the CFL, the quarterback's coach for the Eskimos. He's been calling the plays for Nealon Green, and there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders right now to engineer a comeback for the Eskimos, who are 0-7 when trailing after 3 quarters.
Now what he's saying to Nealon Green is you're going to have to improve that number right there, your passing yardage. Green's going to have to put it in the air, but look at the Lions, 455 yards of net offense, and that's why this number is so big. You can start moving the ball upwards of 500 yards, you're going to dominate the time of possession statistic. They talked about that Edmonton defense. They have got to be tired right now.
Nealon Green's game came alive in the second half of the season when Langsdorff began taking the responsibility of play calling off of the young quarterback's shoulders. Kes McCorvey back to receive this punt from Pasaglia. He's aiming it to the sidelines. McCorvey rushing, but the ball will go out of bounds at the 12-yard line. A 37-yard punt and no return by McCorvey.
Well, you start to wonder, and I don't think Don Matthews, knowing Don Matthews, he's going to stick with Nealon Green throughout this game, but Dan Crowley is more of a pure pocket passer. And the longer this game goes on with the deficit the Edmonton Eskimos are facing, you almost wonder if he might throw him in there for a series to see if he can't throw that football down the field.
Green's numbers, 11 of 17 for 133 yards and 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Tough field position here to start this drive at his own 12. Green, nobody in the backfield. Down the middle, complete. Walters hangs on to it this time. He's gang tackled. Now the ball goes down.
He dropped it.
Terry Vaughn looks like he has it.
He cannot hang on to this football. Terry Vaughn's going to go probably talk to him.
Ricky Walters dropping 1 in the numbers, fumbling twice now.
2 fumbles and a drop. They've gone to him 3 times, and all 3 times the ball has hit the ground. He's trying to get some extra yardage. Again, it's Kelly Lockbaum with the hit. There's Fletcher's right arm coming in there. That pops it out, and Terry Vaughn picks it up. But they went back. They had the first down and then lost about 10 yards.
So it's 2nd and 5. Green, shotgun, across the middle. Terry Vaughn's got the catch, and an Edmonton first down. So Terry Vaughn, the veteran, coming to the aid of his teammates on offense.
Well, unfortunately for the Edmonton Eskimos, now Nealon Green's going to have to go back to Ricky Walters, and I don't say that to, to dog Ricky Walters, because they're going to need him. They have to go into their spread offense. Ricky Walters is the 5th receiver. And if you're going to throw the ball, the 5th receiver is very important to you. Right now, Ricky Walters can't have a lot of confidence.
Green continuing to play a pocket passer. Screen pass, Sean Daniels has room, puts his head down across the 40, and another Edmonton first down.
Well, now they are abandoning the run, just like we thought they would. They have to now go with either no backs in the backfield, and if you put the backs in, you're still throwing anyway. It's just that point in the football game where now, if the Edmonton Eskimos are going to come back and win this one and head to Calgary for that West Final, they're going to have to do it through the air.
Green giving up the running dimension that often puts pressure on defensive backs with 12:44 and ticking to go in regulation time. There's the handoff up the middle as he goes back to that draw. Troy Mills has it. Then he puts it on the ground. The Lions pick it up and go towards the end zone. That's Kelly Lockbaum again.
Now I heard a whistle.
Lockbaum forcing 2 fumbles and picking one up there, but maybe it was blown down.
I did hear a whistle. Now, it depends on when the whistle was blown.
Troy Mills covered in paint, white paint, from the advertising signs on this field.
They're going to say he was down.
The officials confer.
Now they're going to talk about it again. You know, and this is a good sign from the officials. In a game like this, the importance of this football game, get it right. Take a second, discuss it, get the call right.
This is critical for the Eskimos. And they will retain the ball, as you hear the arguments coming from the Lions bench. 2nd down and 6. Ball on the 45. Green to pass. It's complete to Troy Mills across center field. Forced out of bounds by the rookie Snell after a 1st down pickup by Mills.
Mills just sneaking out of the backfield there. That's Kelly Snell, the newcomer on the corner, forced into action. Well, see how Nealon looks away from the play and then goes back to Troy Mills.
As you mentioned, the Eskimos having to go to the air to try to come back, putting pressure now on this young and often disorganized BC secondary. Play action. Green across the middle, wide open. Another completion, and Herbie has another 1st down. The Eskimo receivers are open, wide open.
Well, they're coming underneath. Kes McCorvey is the first guy to run the in, and then the second layer, you see Ed Herbie coming across.
11:48 to play. Eskimos staying in the hurry-up offense. Green passing to Herbie again as he settles and gets pushed out of bounds as they go to work on Kelly Snell.
Yeah, they're going to go over there and work on the short side of the field. That's Kelly Snell, and they're going to make him a player. They're going to test him out, and if they got to come back, why not go after the guy with the least experience in the secondary?
2-time Division II All-American out of Ferris State, but Kelly Snell hasn't played football since his last game last year at Ferris State.
How would you like that pressure?
First playoff game is his first game in pro football. On the corner, Snell. 2nd and about 2. Up the gut. 1st down and more. Troy Mills is finally hauled down inside the BC 10-yard line. Wow, this drive started at their own 12.
Troy Mills takes advantage of the BC defense being so concerned with Nealon Green. Everyone's stepping up the field to try and contain Nealon Green. It opens it up in the middle for Troy Mills.
2nd and goal now. Ball at the 8-yard line. Play whistle down. The Lions stand over the ball, get set to put this in motion. Again, the play, or this drive, starting at the Edmonton 12-yard line. 8 plays and 90 yards later, they're threatening. Green to pass into the end zone. McCorvey in the corner. Touchdown, Edmonton. McCorvey beating the veteran corner, Eric Carter, in a huge touchdown.
Ran the perfect pattern. Eric Carter gambled when the ball was in the air because he recovered nicely, but when he gambled, he mistimed the jump, and Kes McCorvey comes up with the touchdown. A nice pickup on the backside of that play by that offensive line and Val St. Germain, and there's the end of it. McCorvey with the touchdown when Eric Carter gambles.
Sean Fleming's point after is good. And with 10 minutes, 25 seconds in regulation play, the BC lead is cut to 10 points on McCorvey's 16th. Kes McCorvey, the rookie out of Florida State, who doubles as the Eskimos' barber with his 16th touchdown.
Yeah, but it all helps up here. Look at Val St. Germain slide out on David Benefield. If he doesn't pick up that block on Benefield, he hits Nealon Green in the back of the neck. But because Green has time, throws a perfect ball over to Kes McCorvey for the touchdown.
Danny Langsdorff engineering that 9-play drive. Some great play calls. The jet, Jimmy Cunningham drops it. Finds the handle across the 15, but the coverage was waiting. A 64 4-yard kick and only a 6-yard return as the Eskimos pin the Lions deep.
Let's do this. Offense. Get it going.
A year ago, Kes McCorvey was coaching high school football in the USA. Today, he's the leading touchdown man for this Eskimo team with a huge one to cap a 98-yard drive.
Really great drive. Kes McCorvey back to the end zone. Great route runner, and he beats one of the best in the game in Eric Carter on the corner, and that's saying something. Green has plenty of time and a great lane to throw in, and then there's the gamble by Carter. He came underneath, went for the football, and just missed it.
Tremendous concentration by McCorvey with a touchdown to narrow the gap to 10 points.
You know, football, that's Jimmy Cunningham on the turf. Football is always a game of momentum, and right now Old Mo's wearing an Edmonton Eskimo jersey. That's a dejected bench of a team, while maybe other than Eric Carter saying, I had that football, I just missed it. But that's not a team that's ahead. You can't tell by their faces. Here's the injury to Cunningham.
Cunningham cutting back, then surrounded as Hunter comes into play, and Justin Ring twisting him as he hits the ground. And he's just going off the field now. Back at Commonwealth Stadium, a vocal crowd stoking this Eskimo defense. They need to make a big stand here with the Lions pinned deep in their own end, starting first down on their 17-yard line. Edmonton trailing by 10 with 10:15 to play. Allen play action, will pass. It's short, intended for Robert Drummond. And finally, the Eskimos get some pressure on Allen.
Damon Allen goes 2 and out in this series. Old Mo just signed a contract with the Edmonton Eskimos because this is a key swing right here. Damon Allen doesn't need to score on this drive to get momentum back. He just needs a couple of first downs and a little field position. This is a crucial play.
Lions break the huddle. Robert Brown, Chris Hardy, and the Eskimo defense awaiting 2nd and 10. Straight back to pass. Damon Allen throws it to Drummond. He's hit hard, short of the first down. It's a punting situation for the Lions.
Well, Damon Allen threw it to the player he had to throw it to, Robert Drummond, in the flat, based on the coverage that was presented to him. Fortunately, that throw is not going to get him the first down.
Dwight Henry, the sophomore who came to this team in a trade from Montreal to replace Torrey Hunter when he went down with a knee injury, making a big tackle there. Crowd now whipping itself into a frenzy. Terry Vaughn, the lone Eskimo back, to await this punt from Pasaglia. He stands at his own 6.
And he's getting the crowd going back there.
It's a high snap. Pasaglia gets it away, wobbly, on the run. Vaughn covered though. Tremendous punt coverage by the Lions, and Terry Vaughn can't get much more than a couple.
How about the play by Louis Pasaglia? This is not a young man back there. He goes up and maybe saves the game for the BC Lions. I mean, there's a lot of football to be played. That's a high snap, and he goes up and pulls it down and then gets the punt off. He drops that, and Ed Hervey's in the end zone with the football.
28-yard punt, 2-yard return. Here come the Eskimos. Up the gut. Troy Mills.
And coach number 20, Troy Mills. He gets down here.
And tremendous field position to start this drive with 8:56 and ticking to go. Nealon Green has been tremendous, coming hard here in the second half through the air.
Well, almost 100 yards passing in that third quarter for Nealon Green, so starting to throw the ball a little bit more.
2nd and 5. Eskimos. Green will throw. Vaughn hits his numbers and out. It's incomplete.
Perfect timing by Central McClellan. And, you know, Central McClellan's a rookie. He doesn't have a whole lot of playing experience. And when he did play for the Lions early in the year, he was a safety. But watch the timing as he hits Terry Vaughn coming across the middle. Perfect timing, knocks that football out of there.
Sean Fleming will attempt this field goal from 47 yards out. He hit one from 48 during the warm-ups.
Now remember, with the frozen field, that plant foot becomes important. The longer field goals are tougher.
Footwear, important. Fleming steps into the ball. Has he got enough leg? No. It's short. Cunningham has it. Running back into the end zone to run down the clock, and he'll step on a touch. Oh, he's hit hard! But no flags.
Well, I can't believe there was no flag there. I cannot believe there was no flag, but now Cunningham better be careful or he's going to get one.
Jed Roberts plows Cunningham through the advertising onto the concrete.
Cunningham is losing it.
Cunningham is furious, being restrained by his teammates. But Fleming misses the field goal. Sean Fleming upset, nursing an injured kicking foot, short on that 47-yard attempt, but Jed Roberts dodges what would have been a destructive penalty.
I can't believe that this was not a penalty, and Jimmy Cunningham is out of bounds. He's no question he's going out of bounds, and Jed Roberts accelerated into that hit. He didn't let up one bit. Should have been unnecessary roughness, wasn't.
Eskimos get a single on the missed field goal. A penalty would have wiped that out. First down Lions. They've been 2 and out in the last 2 series as Millington goes up the middle, bulldozing his way. Heavy going for about 5.
That's the way to slow down momentum a little bit, is to pound the ball up in the middle with Sean Millington. Let everyone just settle down a little bit. Jimmy Cunningham had to be restrained by his teammates. He wasn't even leaving the field. He was so upset after that late hit.
Eskimos really needed that field goal. Time now, ticking at 7.5 minutes. Cunningham settling down after being furious with that shot from Roberts. Millington up the gut again, across the 50 in the first down marker as he takes the wind out of this crowd.
Well, that doesn't hurry. If you can run the ball in a game of this magnitude on 2nd and 5 or 6 and get the first down in a crucial situation, you're controlling the line of scrimmage, and that'll take the wind out of your sails defensively in a heartbeat. And they get it back.
And the clock keeps running. First down, Lions, across their own 50. Allen, play action, naked bootleg, great fake. He'll pass. It's complete. Drummond has it on the sideline for a first down and deep now into Edmonton territory.
Great poise by Damon Allen, and he puts every defender for the Edmonton Eskimos in a bind. When do you come out of your coverage to tackle the quarterback? See, once Allen breaks contain, now he's outside wide open. He can run. He makes it look like he's going to run. Defenders come up, he pulls back and throws the football.
Yes, his infamous Sally Rand and a 27-yard pass and run to Robert Drummond. First down, Lions. At the Edmonton 32. On the ground they go. It's the Diesel stacked up. But he'll have at least 5 on that carry and keep the clock running.
And you know what Sean Millington's going to take advantage of pretty soon is that right now the Edmonton defenders are trying to rip at that football. So rather than put a hat and a shoulder pad on the tackle, they're trying to reach for the ball. There's Terry Ray. Look at Ralph Staten there trying to pull the ball out rather than helping the tackle. Now, if you try and arm tackle Millington, he's going to run right through it.
Lions in field goal range now. Handoff up the middle. Millington won't have enough for the first down. Finally, they stopped the BC ground game. It'll be 3rd and about 2.
Well, Steve Barrato was taking his time making the decision, but he wanted to see exactly where the officials were going to mark the football. And when you put it to the 2 yards, he needs that field goal at this time, no question.
Millington with 13 carries, just 7 yards shy of 100 on the day. And look at that 2-headed attack. 169 yards on the ground.
Well, coming in, that's exactly what we thought. Millington and Drummond pounding it up in the middle. Green on the outside for Edmonton. Pretty much what it's been.
Saglia will attempt this field goal from just outside the 30. through the uprights. It's good. And that's a critical field goal for the Lions as they pad their lead. The Saglias Lions leading the Eskimos 34-22 with just under 5 minutes to play. Don Matthews needs 2 converted touchdowns to win.
And I'll tell you something, though. Don't change the channels because there's been some strange games between these two teams this year.
Green, play action. Pressure, he'll get it away. Diving Ricky Walters. No. They'll say it's incomplete.
You go back to the game that they played the last time these two teams met here in Commonwealth. With 10 seconds left in the game, the Lions were down by 10. Ended up pushing it to overtime. In overtime, lost in the full overtime period. There's been some wild games during the regular season between these two teams, so it is definitely not over yet.
Yes, a 49-42 thriller. 4:20 to go in regulation. Second down and 10. Eskimos. Nealon Green looking. He'll throw. It's complete in traffic. Ed Hervey has a first down. Green trying to keep the hurry-up offense cooking. Barking his plays. Here's the head-to-head season series. Edmonton prevailing 2-1, but week 13 was that overtime thriller. First and 10. Eskimos at their own 48. Green pressured out of the pocket. He'll roll and throw again. It's complete on the sidelines. And McCorvey steps out of bounds to stop the clock.
How does Nealon Green know that Chuck Levy is coming? First of all, the secondary for the Lions are going to play off, and they're going to make Nealon Green throw it underneath. So that's why you're going to see this distance. But Chuck Levy's going to come off the edge at the top, and you tell me how Nealon Green knows he's coming. Look at 23 right there at the top of your screen. Come off the edge. Blind, Nealon Green turns to the outside, beats him out there, and throws the ball.
Up the middle, Troy Mills rushing hard. Enough for what looks like a huge first down across the 45 to just inside the 50 on that second and short.
Well, you want to pick up the first down, but running plays continue to work that clock. Whoa! He almost lost that football. The enemy of the Edmonton Eskimos right now is the time clock.
Mills coming out now. Mark Nora coming into the football game for the Eskimos.
BC number 91, decline, first down.
The Lions are going to just rush 3 and drop everybody from now on in.
So Nora in the backfield for Mills. First down Edmonton at the BC 40-yard line. Green with a short drop, can't find his receiver. Now he does. Dumps it off to Nora. And Levy makes the tackle short of the first down and keeping Nora in bounds. So the clock,
Chuck Levy,
will be a factor in this football game. They'll start it again as they get the ball set up.
Chuck Levy, number 23 right there, looked like he's just spying Nealon Green right now.
And so the Eskimos marching with 3:06 to play in regulation. Chuck Levy, in only his second start as a defensive back at Arizona, he played quarterback, running back, slot back. He is a versatile athlete, but the pressure will be squarely on him with the Lions trying to stop this Eskimo march. 3 minutes to go in regulation. Second and 5. Green to pass. It's complete to Ed Hervey, open, and another first down for Edmonton.
Said what Chuck Levy has been asked to do throughout this season. Well, now he's asked to be James Bond and spy Nealon Green. He's not involved in coverage. Green goes away from him on that play underneath the zone. Again, the Lions are going to allow the Edmonton Eskimos to throw it underneath and come up and make the tackle. If they score, they take a long time to do it.
Flags are down as Green looks to pass. Now he'll run. He can't find the receiver. Takes a hit trying to dodge the Lion defenders. But a flag down on the 10-yard line. And it will go against the Lions.
Too many players. BC, first down.
The Lions defensively have been trying to substitute Chuck Levy in the game for defensive lineman Marvin Thomas. Apparently they were both in on that play.
When that's the second time the Lions have been called for too many men on the field.
Okay. Well, they've had some problems and had to mix things up, and that's what happens, especially when you have young players.
First down, Eskimos at the BC 13-yard line. Elon Green trying to rally this Edmonton club. He'll throw. His receiver was down. Vaughn has the ball. What a catch!
He caught it on his back. Caught it on his back.
At the goal line, Terry Vaughn makes a tremendous catch after going down before the ball got to him.
Well, he turns on the out and goes down. And as he's sliding to the ground, concentrates on that football and hangs on to it.
First and goal, Eskimos. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left in regulation time. Green hands off to Troy Mills. Touchdown, Eskimos. Troy Mills gives the hometown faithful some hope here in Edmonton with 2:29 to play.
2:29 is plenty of time. I don't even think Don Matthews really has to go for an onside kick attempt at this point.
The point after from Sean Fleming is good.
If the Edmonton Eskimos come back and win this football game, forever you'll go back to maybe one play in one series. It's this one. The catch by Terry Vaughn going down as he slides on his back. Hangs on, gets it down to the one to set up the Troy Mills touchdown. And if the Edmonton Eskimos can come back and win this football game, it'll be that catch that people will talk about.
Tremendous catch by Terry Vaughn at the goal line to set the stage for Troy Mills' plunge.
You know, now Don Matthews deciding whether or not to kick it off deep or to go for the onside kick. And you know the BC Lions have to play it safe. They have to put their hands team on the field, meaning it's not their regular return team. It's more receivers. Don Blair's coming on the field. Eric Carter, defensive back on the field. Everybody's going to be up closer to where the ball will be kicked off. There's Sean Graham.
Field goal is no good for the Eskimos. They need a touchdown. Trailing BC 34-29.
But with 2:29, Mark, I still think there's plenty of time for the Edmonton Eskimos, who are showing an onside kick formation, to kick it deep, get their defense to hold, and get the ball back in time.
Mike Fletcher and Jimmy the Jet Cunningham are deep to receive this kick from Fleming, and he will hoof it.
There you go.
Into the open field. It'll bounce at the 15. Fletcher has it, turns at the 10. Mike Fletcher hit hard. A.J. Gass gobbles him up at the 20.
Yeah, that's the play. That's the smart play, and you don't win more games than anyone in CFL history without knowing a thing or two about the Canadian Football League. That's the play to make.
Tremendous cover on the kickoff by the Eskimos.
Hate the cold weather? That's why you'll love starting your car with the remote car starter. This week, just $79.97. Canadian Tire, still the right place.
Oh, they're marching the ball back. The Lions called for a holding on the kickoff return.
Don Matthews knows two things. One, he has time to kick it deep. And two, the Lions, when they go with their hands team, won't have the same kind of blocking protection for a returner they would with the normal return team. And look where the penalty is putting the football.
Now Grant Carter and this Eskimo defense will have to come to the fore. Lions scrimmaging at their own 10. The crowd now vocal. 2:24 to play in regulation. Allen hands off to Drummond. He runs into a host of Eskimo tacklers and comes down at about the 15 for a 5-yard gain. Terry Ray sticking his nose in there for Edmonton.
Terry Ray slides to the football and is in the hole and makes the sure tackle. Now they don't have to strip the ball out. Now they want BC Lions to punt the football.
The last 3 minutes stop time in the longest quarter in the CFL. Second down and 5. Lions at their 15. On the ground! And he's stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Ben Williams loses his hat as Drummond is stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
They go with the play to Drummond, and had Damon Allen had a pass play called, he would have caught the Edmonton secondary confused and out of position. They were scrambling to get in position. The play called was a running play, which ran right into Big Ben Williams.
Big Ben Williams in 1994 was the Shreveport Pirates' outstanding defensive player. Last year, he was in the Chicago Bears camp. And a huge play for the Eskimos. Terry Vaughn standing in center field. Matthews feeling the butterflies now. His team has a chance to come back.
You can cut the tension now with a knife on both sidelines.
Louis Pasaglia, the 25-year veteran, standing at his 1-yard line. Will he run back and concede? One man back to receive. Yes, he will. Eating up the clock. Pasaglia dancing, looking like he might throw. The Eskimos trying to cover the pass threat. The clock using up all kinds of time. And then Pasaglia is driven into touch.
That's a tremendous call by Steve Lorado, because it was a 5-point game, which means a touchdown wins it for the Edmonton Eskimos. Had Louis Pasaglia punted from his goal line, Edmonton was getting it inside of the 50.
Flags are down, though, on the safety touch.
Well, this is what happens when you go to give up a safety. Okay, you're taught on the line to pull the players down, to kill time on the clock in this situation. A penalty doesn't matter, because if you take the penalty, they'll just do it all over again.
And that play took 16 seconds off the clock.
That's right. It's the clock that's most important right now. So Barado is going to count on the fact that Grant Carter will decline the penalty, and now the Lions will have to kick off the football and make Elon Green drive the length of the field to beat him.
Holding, BC number 23.
Yeah.
The hold will be applied at the point where Edmonton is elected to take it, which is at the 45.
So the Edmonton Eskimos now take it on the 45. They're going to get that penalty from there. But there's all kinds of holding going on. You could have picked any BC Lion, and then, again, is there a penalty here at the end of this play?
Pasaglia driven out for the 2-point safety. But the way he carried the ball, threatening to pass, the Eskimos didn't pursue him as fast as they might have.
Now, though, a field goal ties this game and puts it into overtime. Now, in overtime, should it get there, in the playoffs, we will continue to go with overtime series until the game is decided. In the regular season, you went to a total of 4 series per team, and then it ended in a tie. If it happens here, it keeps going until it's decided.
1:45 in regulation. Eskimos down by a field goal. Green passing. It's complete to Terry Vaughn. He turns and he gallops. Finally dragged out of bounds. There's a fumble, though. The Lions have it.
Did they rule
the officials will rule Vaughn down. Eskimos hang on to the ball.
Whoa. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That was awfully close down that sideline. Let's take another look. Terry Vaughn catches the out. He's inbounds, clearly inbounds. That's a fumble. That is a straight-out fumble. Recovered right there by Mike Crum.
Mike Crum getting it just before it goes out of bounds.
Unbelievable.
What a break for the Eskimos.
That is a fumble inbounds by Terry Vaughn.
Green in the second half was 200 yards through the air. Here he goes again across the middle. It's complete to Harris. Rookie from Ottawa, and another first down for the Eskimos with 1:33 to play. And they're inside the 25 of BC.
Well, now the Edmonton Eskimos want to be careful in this situation. They got lucky on this fumble, no question, because that is clearly a fumble. The ball is inbounds right there. Mike Crum is the last to touch it out of bounds.
First down, Edmonton at the BC 22-yard line. 1:19 and counting. Green to pass. High off of Ed Hervey's hands and incomplete. He should have had it.
He should have had it, but I'll tell you something. The Edmonton Eskimos have to be careful in this situation. They're in field goal range for a tie to force overtime. That's their worst case scenario. Their best case scenario is obviously a touchdown, but you don't want a turnover when you have the tie ball game in your grasp.
Oh, look at that. Ed Hervey open and had the ball sail through his hands and tipped just over the BC defender lying in wait. Second down and 10. Eskimos. 1:14 to play. Green will pass. There's pressure. He's in trouble moving way back. He'll throw. It's nearly intercepted, but they'll rule it incomplete. Mike Crum, who forced the fumble, nearly got it back with an interception.
Now, you know, going back to that fumble, the only question I would have is Mike Crum out of bounds when he touched the football? Because if Mike Crum is out of bounds when he touched the Terry Vaughn fumble, then Vaughn would have been the last one to touch it before it went out.
I thought his knees were in bounds as he got the ball.
And that was definitely a good call by the official. That one hit the ground on the interception.
And so it is. A field goal attempt from the 29-yard line. The left hash mark for Sean Fleming, nursing that injured kicking foot. This is to tie it. Fleming's kick. Oh, it's wide left! For a single as Cunningham bobbles it out of bounds. A chip shot for Fleming, and the fans can't believe it. Was that injured foot a factor?
29 yards has got to be automatic, but you've got to believe that the injury to his kicking foot has got to be a problem for Fleming.
Fleming missing his last two field goal attempts, that one from 29, the previous one from 46.
All week long, Matt Kellett has been here in Edmonton, and there was question as to whether or not they make the change and put Matt Kellett on the roster. Fleming kicked and was okay. Should have had that one.
Eskimos still have a timeout left. 58 seconds to go. The Lions stay on the ground with not much up the gut for Millington.
Yeah, and they'll stay on the ground because the only thing that really hurts them more than anything is the turnover. If they run the ball twice and punt it, again, you make Nealon Green drive basically 3/4 of the field to beat you. Now, Nealon Green only needs field goal distance, so there's still enough time to get that done.
Lions wondering if that missed field goal was justice for what looked like a fumble recovery by Crum that was denied, that kept that Eskimo drive alive. 38 seconds and ticking now. Second down, 7. It's complete. Alfred Jackson has a BC first down. And that will be the nail in the coffin for Edmonton.
That's the one. Another tremendous timing pattern from Damon Allen. Wow. And they're starting to file out here in Commonwealth. It's tough to shake up Damon Allen.
Nealon Green, terrific in this second half, more than 200 yards passing. Val St. Germain cannot believe their luck.
The finality of the playoffs hits hard when you realize that it's over.
Allen running the clock down. 10 seconds. He'll take a knee. Frustration now boiling over. You can hear the heated comments in that scrum between the Lions and Eskimos.
The Eskimos all week long were wondering why there wasn't more hype for this game. They felt that a lot of the fans and media were looking ahead to the big matchup between Edmonton and Calgary in the final. Well, there was one hurdle to overcome before they could make that happen, and it was an awful hot BC Lion team.
Fleming, a lonely man on the Edmonton bench. as the Lions prepare for the rematch with Calgary in the Western Final. Zeros on the clock. Allen takes a knee, and the BC Lions have prevailed, beating Edmonton 34-32. Damon Allen's first playoff victory since he won the Grey Cup for Edmonton in 1993. And the rematch is on. Calgary and BC in the West Final.
The two times the Lions in the 90s won playoff games here in Commonwealth against Edmonton. They went to the Grey Cup.
1988 and again in 94. And the Diesel has a big day on the ground for the Lions, and for the Eskimos, their season is over. Let's go to the sidelines and hear Steve.
Thank you very much, Mark. I'm with Damon Allen. Damon, that was a classic. You're speechless.
I'm speechless. You know, I'm just thankful, man, with, you know, we came out ready to play. And, you know, the Eskimos, they fought, but we came out victorious. I said all week, you know, it's going to be a good day. And I felt very good about, you know, going in this game. And, you know, I'm just thankful, man. And I finally won a playoff game in a BC uniform. So, yeah, that's to all the ones that say I couldn't win.
Damon, you had all your weapons working today. Your running game, you looked like you were in a zone passing again.
I guess it was just my day. But there's no question that the guys up front, the receivers, especially offensively, we came in here confident. But at the same time, we knew we had to come down here and really control the game. And, you know, everything just flowed. And it felt very good out there.
Damon, congratulations. Look forward to that final in Calgary.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm pretty sure our team is too.
The BC Lions are going to Calgary and the Western Final next Sunday. For the first time since 1993, Damon Allen wins a playoff game. The BC Lions are going to the Western Final against the Calgary Stampeders. Well, if you're looking for keys for the BC Lions win today, look no further than this man, Sean Millington and Robert Drummond. Sean, your thoughts?
Hey, just want to give thanks to Jesus Christ, without whom I wouldn't have been out here doing anything. I want to give thanks to my buddy Drummond right here. If it wasn't for him blocking and working hard, I wouldn't have the opportunities that I do either. So it's been a team effort, and we've all hung in there to get this thing done.
Big thanks to your O-line.
Oh, the O-line was huge today. They opened up the holes up front for us and really got us some space to move.
Edmonton knew you were coming at them. They knew you were going to run the ball, but still you're able to prevail.
Hey, it's one thing to know it. It's another thing to stop it.
Robert, you were on fire early in this game with your pass receiving.
You know, I mean, I've always, you know, wanted to be a very good pass receiver coming to the backfield, you know, so I always try to go out there and work hard in that aspect. You know, when Millington came to this team during this offseason, you know, I thought to myself, that takes a lot of the pressure off me. I mean, I don't have to bang as much up inside. And I said, any defense that tries this defense, both of us come out of the backfield. I mean, it's got to be tough, you know, because we're both bangers. You know, we can line up outside, run routes, and toward the end of the game, when defenses start getting tired, as they did today, you know, we both can run up inside, you know. And it's a great feeling to play in the backfield with somebody who's like just at my ability.
BC Lion fans, I can hear them now saying, where was this running attack all season long?
You know, I mean, that's something I can't answer. You know, me and Sean ourselves always say that, you know, just give us the ball, just give us the opportunity, you know, we can go out there and win games, you know, but that's not enough. We're both team players. We just go out there and run what's called, you know, and try and win games, you know, but right now it's playoff time, you know. We'll both put the games on our shoulders. We just want to go out there and win, you know. We got a game coming up tough in Calgary. We know it's going to be very, very tough. We know they're going to be geared to stop us, but hey, we love challenges.
Sean, Damon's play selection today was brilliant.
Hey, he called a great game. You know, just kept them off balance, running a little bit, pass a little bit, just do all the things that are in our arsenal. Let us dictate what we're going to do to them instead of us responding to what they're going to do to us. And that way, that's how you win.
Sean, give me some thoughts on the Western Final rematch with the Stampeders.
It's going to be a battle. You know, they took one away from us the last time we played them, and we're going back in there to take it back because, hey, we know that we are the better team. We know that we're the team to beat, and we've got the momentum, and we're going to go in there and take it to them.
Can you run that effectively against the Stampeders defense?
We will run that effectively against that Stampeders defense.
Congratulations to Sean Millington and Robert Drummond. The keys in the BC Lions victory over the Edmonton Eskimos here at Commonwealth Stadium today. And you have to feel good for the veteran Louis Pasaglia, who's retiring at the end of this season. He keeps the dream alive. He is going to yet another Western Final in Calgary. The road to the Grey Cup continues next week. The CFL on CBC. The Eastern Final, the surprising Winnipeg Blue Bombers will be in Montreal against the Alouettes. That's a 12:30 start Eastern time. And of course, the BC Lions going on to Calgary to face the Stampeders in the Western Final. Here at Commonwealth Stadium this afternoon, a thriller. The Lions edge the Eskimos.